The Brickyard is brought to you by Nextel. Enter the Nextel Race to the Chase sweepstakes for a chance to win $250,000. By Toyota. Choose any direction as long as it's moving forward. By UPS, the official express delivery company of NASCAR. UPS, we're going to race the truck. People love the truck. And by Allstate, proud sponsor of the Allstate 400 at the Brickyard.
Transform the way you watch NASCAR. NBC and Sony HD TV proudly present today's race in high definition. A view down the front stretch at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 2 weeks ago, 7-time series champion Richard Petty took the wheel of Wally's car for a few laps around Pocono. The first time the King had driven a car since a symbolic ride around this place 12 years ago. This week, Wally got even. He borrowed a car from the Petty bunch and went for a ride with an Olympic star who knew right away when the car started skating up the track.
I would like to welcome my guest this week, Bonnie Flair, Olympic gold medalist in speed skating. Welcome aboard, Bonnie.
You got it.
Now, Bonnie, you have a lot in common with NASCAR drivers. You go fast and you go in circles.
And we're always going left, right? Going right is real difficult.
Well, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is a very, very special place for race drivers, probably like skating in the Olympics. This place has got so much history, and it's very, very important to a race car driver. Let's get this thing going and take a lap.
Here we go.
Now, unlike the ice, where you got to have a nice, clean, slick surface, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway diamond cut this track for the NASCAR cars, so it give it a lot more grip. How do you guys go through the corners when you're speed skating?
Like here, you got to set the turns up. You got to get in them so that you carry your speed out of them real well.
How many gold medals did you win anyway?
I won 5 gold and 1 bronze.
Only 5. That's only 1 less than me, but that's a good run for you. Well, I'm glad Allstate invited you to the ride. I want to congratulate you. You are the first woman that has a scream during Wally's World. Now, I know the gold medal thing was important to you, but this really was the most important thing you've ever done in your life, isn't it?
One of the coolest things I've ever done.
I can't wait to go ice skating with you.
Hey, you got a date.
Yeah, I'll be there. Thanks a lot.
That was very cool.
Yeah, it was. That was
cool
good.
What Allstate does with the Olympic athletes.
Yeah,
very cool program.
It's outstanding. And we'll send cameras for that ice skating exhibition for you. Budweiser, the official beer of NASCAR, is the proud sponsor of the Budweiser Pole Award given to the fastest qualifier at each NASCAR Nextel Cup Series race. Budweiser congratulates Elliott Sadler on his 2nd pole of the season, and we will see him in the Budweiser Shootout,
along with all the rest of those drivers,
at Daytona in February. Here's the starting grid for today's Allstate 400. On the pole, Elliott Sadler, and next to him, Jeremy Mayfield in a Dodge.
Row 2 this afternoon. On the inside, Michael Waltrip, Casey Keene. A lot of fellas talk about the 9 car being very fast.
Row 3, Brian Vickers, a Hendrick Motorsports car, and from Penske Racing, Ryan Newman.
Jeff Gordon inside row 4 has won this thing 4 times. Sterling Marlin has not won it once.
In row 5, Ricky Rudd, 1997 winner here, and Mark Martin in what could be his final appearance at Indy.
Great qualifying run for this duo in row 6. Kenny Shred on the inside, Mike Bliss on the outside.
Row 7, Robbie Gordon, who loves Indianapolis, and Kevin Harvick, who has won here.
Jeff Green on the inside of row 8, Kyle Busch on the outside.
In row 9, Martin Truex Jr. racing for a Busch Series championship, making a Nextel Cup start today, along with Jason Leffler.
Joe Nemechek, row 10, Matt Kenseth, champion on the inside.
In row 11, Scott Riggs, and there's Tony Stewart. Let's take a look.
Robbie, yeah.
Go ahead. We'll watch the lineup. You talk to Robbie.
We got to catch him on the front straightaway because I don't know if radio will work anywhere else. Robbie, this is Paulie in the booth. You hear me?
I got a copy on you, Wally.
This place is cool, isn't it? Brickyard?
It's always great to come race here at Indianapolis. You know, so much history here. It's going to be a little different today, being a lot warmer than it was yesterday and not getting a lot of practice and being warmer than when we tested. Going to have to be careful on the tires.
You know, that's one thing. You guys had the pressure to just make the race, where a lot of these guys have race setups on. How many changes are you guys going to make on these first couple of pit stops to get this car to handle?
Well, we didn't go 100% full Monte on qualifying, but we had a pretty big qualifying setup in it. I think we're going to be okay there. You know, we got to take some wedge out of all 4 jack bolts, raise the track bar. If it's not good enough, we'll come down pit lane, adjust it under one of these cautions, make a big change, and I think we'll be good late in the race.
All right, thanks, Robbie, and good luck.
Thank you.
You saw Rusty Wallace and Jimmy Johnson back there in row 21, Terry Labonte in row 22. Now, the actual starting lineup will show that Boris said in the 36, the 41 of Casey Mears go to the back for additional work. The 04 of Bobby Hamilton has requested to start at the back of the field, and the 2 of Rusty Wallace back there because he's in a backup car after crashing in qualifying. 9 drivers did not make the Allstate 400 here at the Brickyard.
So their hearts were broken yesterday. The other 42's hearts will be broken today when they don't win the Allstate 400.
But somebody
will.
Yes, and have their dream come true. Final thoughts from pit road before we go racing at Indianapolis to Marty Snyder.
Bill, and that somebody might just be Casey Kane. In this race last year, he used the outside groove, proving there is one, to finish 4th. His car, he told me, is the best he has ever sat in, but that was in practice yesterday. Car owner Ray Evernham told me his one concern is the weather. We heard Robbie Gordon mention it is a good bit warmer than it was yesterday, and Ray said that might change their setup just a bit, but their car was excellent yesterday. Ray told me a car that can win this race. Matt?
Back at Pocono, Greg Biffle lost 1 spot in the championship standings, falling to 3rd. So you think the goal here at Indy is to get back into 2nd, but he told me the biggest thing, he doesn't care about points for this event. This is one of those big events where all you care about is the W. 1 year ago, he started back in 35th and finished 6th. Today, he starts back in 31st. Doug Richard told me, expect the 16 car to put a demonstration on how to go from the back to the front. Dave?
What will Kurt Busch's day be like? He's only ever led 3 laps here at the Brickyard, but he's finished on the lead lap 3 of the 4 times he's raced here. And this weekend, before a poor qualifying performance, he had a very fast race car on all of the timing sheets. But perhaps a really good predictor is how well he ran at Pocono. He won that race, and many people say that if you can win at Pocono, you can win here at Indy with the same sort of setup. That momentum may carry Kurt Busch to victory lane today. Alan?
Well, Dave, we talk about it every year here at Indianapolis. It's a story every year. This very narrow pit lane. I'm down at the turn 1 end of pit road. It's just barely 30 feet wide. Sometime today, some driver pulling out of his pit stall is going to wrinkle up his right front fender, banging into another car coming down pit road from farther on, and ruin his chance to win. Keeping the fenders clean a key today. Also late in the race, some driver, some crew chief are going to gamble on fuel only or 2 tires to try and get up front and win at Indianapolis. Strategy late in the race. We'll see how it unfolds in the final laps. Bill?
Thanks, gentlemen. Enjoy your day down there. There is pit road here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The pit stalls are about 12 feet wide and 45 feet long. You select your pit stall based on your qualifying spot. So take a look at this. On the pole, Elliott Sadler. He has the best starting spot and a great pit stall, BP.
He certainly does, because as long as he can stay in front, there's no one going to be in his way coming in, and when they finish changing tires, fuel, he just drives out with no one in his way.
Tony Stewart starts in the middle of the pack. He's in the middle of pit road, surrounded by other cars. And Jimmy Johnson, who never got a chance to make a qualifying attempt, well, he's all the way down there by turn 4.
Yeah, and he's going to have to give a lot of give. When you're a driver coming down that pit lane, and it's very narrow, you've got to watch cars peeling out of the pits and not run into them or have them run into you. So as a driver, you got to stay on your toes, because Alan is right. Some of these chances today are going to get ruined on pit lane for winning this race.
It's very tight down there. There you see some of the 250,000 fans here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 43 cars on this 2.5-mile track, the short chute between turns 3 and 4. And you think about the names that have gone to victory lane here, both in open wheel and stock car racing, it just makes you wonder who's going to be next. There's a museum on the grounds that's well worth the price of admission. Now the pace vehicle will head for pit road, and the 250,000 will come to their feet. 43 cars about to race, 43 hearts already are. Front stretch is 5/8 of a mile long. They wait now for the green flag at Indianapolis. Sadler brings them down the front stretch. He leads at Indianapolis, but it's safe to say the race began on the first lap.
I would say so. Jeremy Mayfield on the inside. Waltrip takes a spot. These guys that are trying to get to the front, it's important here. You'll hear clean air a lot. This is one of those racetracks. You want all the air on your car to push those 4 tires into the racetrack for grip. So it's real important to try to get out front and get away from everybody.
Elliott Sadler wasn't kidding when he said his car would be pretty good.
He's already put bus links on the second place car of Jeremy Mayfield. Yep.
Marty.
Hey, Bill, Jeremy Mayfield told me before he got in the car, he said, I know this thing is going to go to the front. He said, absolutely, without a doubt. Best race car I've ever had here. They built a brand new race car, tested it here. He said it was unbelievable in practice, and he wanted very few changes during the practice session. In fact, he said, I could run it all day long, and it ran anywhere I wanted it to. They are very good off of turns 2 and 4, just like his teammate Casey Kane. And if you're going to be good anywhere at Indy, that's where you want to be good.
Here comes Mark Martin.
And you know what? You want to know how important this place is? How many guys have said it's the best car I've ever had? You know what I mean? Because they
43 of them, I think.
They all put so much effort into this race. That's how important it is.
Mark Martin in that 6 car, a throwback paint scheme for a throwback racer, Matt.
4 wins in that paint scheme from 1990 and 91, hoping to put it in victory lane for the 5th time, pulling out all stops to get a win here at Indy. Brand new race car, tested well. They ran well at Pocono. They're expecting good things today. He's trying to end a winning streak that dates back 43 races, Bill. And to top that, he's won here before in IROC. 3 straight races.
Thank you, Matt.
Robbie Gordon on the outside in the through the Loon car with, boy, they're packed in here. You got
Kevin Harvick on the inside.
Yep.
Matt Kenseth in the 17. Tony Stewart in the 20. Home Depot Chevrolet. Marty, you got some stuff on Tony?
Billy wants to slowly march his way towards the front. When they tested here last month, the test did not go very well. The first half of the day was almost a waste, Greg Zipadelli told me this morning. But in the second half of the day, they got better. But when they got back to Huntersville, North Carolina, they said, you know what? Maybe that's not the right car to bring. So they brought another car, the one that they hadn't run this year at all. Put a brand new body on it, and this is the car Tony brought. When he got into practice yesterday, he said that was the right decision, guys. This car will be good in the race tomorrow.
Marty started 22nd. He's up to 16th.
That's another car. Best car he's ever had here, right?
Yep, exactly right. Now let's see if we can find the current championship leader.
Wow. Oh, Tony making that crossover move on Robbie Gordon.
Yep. He got around Kenseth, now inside of Robbie Gordon in the 7.
But Robbie Gordon's car, that 7 car looks like it's a little bit loose right now, especially getting in down into the corner. Thing wants to spin out when he tugs on the wheel.
There's Jimmy Johnson, the 48 car, trying to march his way forward. Last time by, he was running in the 35th position.
Dave on Jimmy.
And remember last year, guys, they had a car that they could not get right. Played with it all day long, could not get it to work well here at Indy. It finally succumbed to engine failure late in the race. This year, they've loved this car, but they never got a chance to display that at qualifying because of what Matt and Jimmy talked about in the pre-race show. They're displaying it now, and Jimmy's moving forward.
A long way to go, but a long time to get there for Johnson, the championship leader in that 48 car.
See the mile per hour there? You see close to 200 miles per hour going down into turn 1.
And bad news for Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8 car. He's lost some spots. He started 27th, and he's back to the 32nd position. Right in front of Jimmy Johnson.
Word that NASCAR has talked to the 20 team about their driver maybe being a little too aggressive here in the early laps of the Brickyard race, the Allstate 400.
Kurt Busch, the 97 car, on the inside of Junior, trying to take a spot away.
Junior didn't exactly sound very optimistic. No. Bank of America countdown to green, did he?
No, he didn't.
Junior said earlier this weekend, this is a crucial race. This could decide their fate on making the chase. They expect to run well when we go to Watkins Glen. This was the one question mark. A brand new race car in the Dale Earnhardt stable. Good things.
Well, he's losing some spots right now, Matt, so I think they need to adjust on that chassis. Jimmy Johnson just went by, and he's got Rusty Wallace in the 2 car all over the rear bumper.
That 2 car of Rusty Wallace, a backup car, crashed here yesterday, was the last car in the qualifying order. Crashed in turn 1. Got a car off the truck, no laps, but Dave, so far so good.
And Rusty was quoted as saying, you know, this is the car I really wish we had raced anyway. I guess that's what you say after you wreck your car in qualifying. But this is not the car that they tested here. So they've been all over with cars here. The car they tested, Larry Carter told me, was not that good. He's a crew chief. He should know. So they brought 2 cars that they thought would be a lot better. Yesterday's was okay. Rusty really likes this one.
That's a great shot right there, isn't it?
Sure is.
Down to turn 1, you got to be right down on the bottom of these corners when you get in, and all the way up against the wall, so you get a good arc into the next corner.
Is the 8 holding him up, you think?
Yeah, the 8 is holding him up, and this is a very difficult place to pass, but it looks like Rusty will get a run on him. If he gets on the inside of him up here in turn 3, it'll be his corner.
Wallace in the 2, Earnhardt in the 8.
And that's Bill Elliott on the inside of Dale Earnhardt Jr. now in the yellow car, a former winner here at the Brickyard.
Driving for Ray Everham. Stanley Tools is the sponsor.
Junior just doesn't look like he can really get the car turned down. It looks like he's just got his hands full. Goes Kyle Petty in the 45. Secretary Labonte, 44.
Yep, sure is. And that pushes Earnhardt Jr. back to 39th that time across the line. Carl Edwards in the 99 just in front of him.
Carl Edwards, another driver with a backup car.
So that's back in the pack, but at the front of the field is Elliott Sadler. Outstanding qualifying run here Saturday afternoon. And Sadler down the front stretch, completing another lap. He has led them all so far in the Allstate 400 at the Brickyard. You're watching NASCAR on NBC. NBC Sports at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Speedway, Indiana, for the 12th running of the Allstate 400 at the Brickyard. 250,000 fans here. You get a ticket to this race. You do not give it up. It's a fantastic place to be. Here's our Wendy's race menu. A week from today, we're at the road course at Watkins Glen. 1 o'clock on NBC. And then 2 weeks over on TNT. The NASCAR Nextel Cup Series in Michigan. Then it's on to Bristol. And then out west to California. Elliott Sadler started on the pole, was excited all weekend about his car. He is fast and out front. Let's take you through the field, starting with Alan Bestwood.
Well, Bill, I talked with Elliott Sadler just before driver introductions today. I asked him, what would your idea of a good day be? He said, well, very simple. Lead every lap, win the race, and plant a big old kiss on that yard of bricks. So far, so good. Marty?
Oddly enough, Alan, same exact goal for Jeremy Mayfield, who started second, currently running second. Hasn't said a word on the radio. This team also not only trying to win the Brickyard, but trying to make the chase for the Nextel Cup. That is their focus. Alan?
Well, Brian Vickers running third now. He started the race back in 5th position. Very strong car underneath Vickers. Vickers has never won a NASCAR Nextel Cup Series race. He told me before the race, can you think of any better place to get your first win than Indianapolis? Marty?
Alan, now that Casey Kane has gotten a little clean air, his car is running much better. He is starting to catch Brian Vickers. Earlier in the race, he said the car was extremely tight getting into the corners. He just radioed to Ray Evernham and Tommy Baldwin, said that is actually getting a little bit better. Car coming to him, Alan.
Well, Michael Waltrip is having a solid top 5 run so far. Michael started the race in 3rd position, dropped back a couple spots. No big concerns on their car. This is a car that they wrecked at Pocono in the last race. Spent a couple of late nights getting it back in shape, but they wanted to run it here. Jeff Gordon looking for his 5th Indianapolis Motor Speedway win. His crew chief Robbie Loomis telling me before the race, no pre-designed plan as far as their race strategy is concerned. They're going to see how the day unfolds, but they expect to be in the hunt by the end. Matt?
Ricky Rudd, who won here in 1997, runs back in the 7th position, trying to become the 17th different driver to win for the legendary Wood brothers. Says the car is good, but Alan, it says it needs more grip.
Well, Ken Schrader had a great qualifying run, 11th fastest in time trials. He's moved up 3 spots to 8th. Kenny told me just before he climbed in his car, it really felt like they had a good machine. They were going to go after it for all 400 miles and see if they could pull off the upset. Matt?
Mark Martin trying to get Jack Roush his first Brickyard 400 victory. Just riding along back in the 9th position, just settling in. Says the car is good, just a tick on the tight side, but good, Alan.
Well, Kyle Busch is running in the 10th position now. This is Kyle's first ever trip to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Intimidated? Not in the least. Definitely, though, understands the history and tradition and would love to go to victory lane for the first time here today. Matt?
1 year ago, the month of August and the first part of September, knocked Kevin Harvick out of the chase, hoping to bounce back in. He's only 73 markers out of 10th. He's won here before. A good race car. He was hoping for a hot, slippery day. That's exactly what he's got. He's riding in 11th, Marty.
Matt, the day is a little too warm for Joe Nemechek. His water temperature is a concern now, about 15 degrees warmer than they would like. Car is just a little bit tight, but the water temperature is a little bit of a concern. Matt Kenseth, however, car is excellent. He just radioed to Robbie Reiser about 4 laps ago, said it's a little bit tight, Robbie, but I like it. And when we're in clean air, and he's got a little bit of it right now, the car very good. Tony Stewart continues to come to the front, 22nd to 14th. Hadn't said a word on the radio, and obviously the hottest guy in the series, having won 3 of the last 6 races, but this is the one he wants. Alan?
Well, Martin Truex Jr., the NASCAR Busch Series champion from last year, won his 6th race of the season last night at the short track across town, Indianapolis Raceway Park. They got out of there, the crew did, about 3 in the morning after the post-race teardown inspection. Back here early this morning, Martin concerned that he's dragging the left front fender on the car when he's crossing the turns. Crew chief Kevin Mannion says we'll fix it on the first stop.
Thanks, guys. Truex runs 15th last time by. Mike Bliss was 16th, followed by Greg Biffle, Ryan Newman, Jamie McMurray, and Jeff Burton. Elliott Sadler continues to lead. Robbie Gordon, Bobby Hamilton Jr., and Travis Kvapil have been warned by NASCAR to pick up their speed. Matt.
Coming down the front stretch, Bill, you could hear some issue with the motor on the 16 of Greg Biffle. He just yelled on the radio, gone to the backup distributor. Everything appears to be okay. 3rd in the championship standings. He was putting on a demonstration on getting to the front. Started near the back, worked his way inside the top 20 quickly. He says the car is okay now.
Yeah, we heard that. Yeah, we heard that. We wondered who. Now everyone on the front stretch, all the fans stood up to see what had happened.
So did you guys.
Yes.
On board with Biffle.
He's worked his way up from 31st to the 17th position. So he has a good race car.
Driving beautiful, buddy. Being a little hard on the brakes. I'm trying to ease off them. Because the security blanket's a little loose. That's why I tightened up, probably.
Being a little hard on the brakes, he said.
A little hard on his heart, it sounds like, too. So Biffle appears to be okay for now. We'll keep an eye on that, and we'll try and keep an eye on Elliott Sadler. But you got to look quick. That 38 M&M's Ford is pretty darn fast. Elliott Sadler leads Mayfield, Vickers, Kane, and Gordon.
The 01 has got a skirt coming off.
Buddy, you can get by those guys. You slow down to 10 since you got behind them. You can do it. So tight for 2 and 4, 1 and 3. I catch them, but I'm fucked. Outside, buddy. Outside. Clear high. Clear high. Awesome. Great job. Go get him. The line now.
Back here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, still under green. Take a look at the Chevrolet drivers to watch. Their best finish in the Allstate 400 at the Brickyard. Jimmy Johnson 9th, Tony Stewart, a couple of 5th place finishes. Earnhardt Jr.
I would say that's the guy to watch, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Caution is out. Bobby Hamilton Jr. off the pace. Travis Quapple had already pulled down pit road.
Bobby ran into somebody.
Yes, or something.
Could be a left front came apart there.
And the tires,
left front.
tire came apart and has torn up the left front fender.
And you were concerned about tire wear here today,
There
BP.
goes the left front for good.
The first 50 laps of the race, I was concerned about tire wear. It's going to, the last 50 laps, it will not be a problem.
Straight to pit road. Straight to pit road.
That's because the tires will rubber up the track. The rubber will go into the grooves on the racetrack, and that should help the tire wear.
So we can see the 32 car having the flat tire. We see him there, right in the center of the screen. Oh, there it goes, just blows apart.
Man, heading into the turn. Nice job hanging on to that.
Yeah, really.
And debris every place.
A couple of cars that have been falling back. The 7 of Robbie Gordon and the 36 of Boris Said. Those were a couple of guys that had to get in, so basically they're racing on
qualifying setups.
Yeah.
Right.
And qualifying setups, race setups are totally different. Now, this is a caution flag. Those cars can come in and change a lot of those qualifying setups to a race setup.
And they're lucky they didn't lose a lap because they were getting close to going a lap down. And then we'll see what guys are having issues with the tires, because we can see the wear once these guys all come in to make pit stops. Who's going to be worrying about tires?
Two-time Brickyard winner Dale Jarrett started 24th. He has fallen back to 38th. Matt Kenseth has been on the move all the way up to 12th. And here they come down the very narrow pit road at Indianapolis. Matt, take it away.
The first leader who will hit his pit box will be Ricky Rudd, the 97 winner. Fatback McSwain calling him in. Ricky says, the car just lacks grip. Whatever you do, don't take away what I already have in the back. We need to work on the front. Good stop going on. Marty?
Jeremy Mayfield, middle of your screen in the 19 car. The car, outstanding. Their biggest concern, they cannot hear Jeremy on the radio. They thought he was just being quiet, but when they tried to communicate with him, they got nothing back. Alan?
Elliott Sadler in, going to get 4 tires and fuel. The catch can man Frankie Good looked up at crew chief Todd Parrott with the adjustment wrenches in his hand. Like, you want any of these? Todd shook his head. No. Dave?
Championship leader Jimmy Johnson decided at this time not to take 2 tires for track position. They took 4. They made adjustments through 2 holes in the rear window with their wrenches. That will adjust the car better for turns 1 and 2, where he was a little bit tight pushing toward that wall. Milt?
Hallelujah. They all made it off pit road without any contact.
But that's only the first time.
Well, true.
It'll be a busy day down there. Guys trying to make their cars better. Jimmy Johnson trying to get to the front. But the story so far, Elliott Sadler at the Brickyard.
Good, bud. Nothing on the inside of that right front at all? Nothing. All right. Okay, Greg, tires look good there. This is going to be a half a pound out of the right rear. Had a little hang up there on the left rear. We'll get you better next time. Simple. Well, the way it shook out there, looks like we lost 1 spot, according to the monitor here. That sound by? 20 meters. Yeah, 10-4. We had a nut fall off on one side. We'll get her back. Take it off, Joe. You got it. You got what it takes.
Still under caution here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The Allstate 400 at the Brickyard. Elliott Sadler continues to lead. Benny, let's go inside our Home Depot virtual garage and take a look at the tire issues under the microscope today.
Talking about camber, we talked about this at Pocono 2 weeks ago. Camber is how the tire leans in or out at the top. In is negative camber. What happens when you have negative camber? You go down these straightaways up to 200 miles per hour. Number one, stop it. You see just this little green strip on the inside? That's all the tire that's making contact with the racetrack. You do that so when you get to the turn and you apply all the pressure on that tire, it deflects, it goes over, and you get the entire contact tire freezing. You see, the whole tire goes over and makes contact with the racetrack. The problem is down the straightaway, that little narrow strip at 200 miles per hour, no air pressure. It's more pressure than that tire can stand.
And the straightaways here on the front and the back, 5/8 of a mile long. That's a long way. Under caution at Indianapolis, Elliott Sadler, the race leader.
Tires look awesome, buddy. Good job there. You're the best car there by far. Good job. Keep it up. Showing one lap car coming up on the bottom, 77, I believe. Is that all you got to lap down, Doug? Yes. Okay, that's it of the lap car to it, just the 77. Once 32 fixes his, he's several down, but...
Coming to get the green flag at Indianapolis, here's our Team Tylenol safety fact. Tire interliners were introduced in the mid-1960s to NASCAR racing to help drivers have some measure of control in the event of a punctured tire. Used at most tracks, but not all of them. The interliner, a safety development in NASCAR.
And a good one.
Great.
Green flag out again at Indianapolis.
Second place. He was pretty good at Pocono.
And that's
racetrack.
And that's a car that's easy to see.
Yes, it is. Lime green. I think he finished second in the first Pocono race behind Carl Edwards.
Travis Kvapil a lap down on the inside. Got some stories from pit road here in a few moments, but just to update some drivers for you, Jeff Burton had a problem with his jack on his pit stop. That cost him some spots. Gordon in the 24 looking at the 9 of Casey Kane. They're trying to solve Jeremy Mayfield's radio problems, and Ken Schrader has a clutch problem. He has gone from 9th to 40th. Tony Stewart inside of Biffle for position.
About the 20 car of Tony Stewart. He was a little tight. In fact, he came on the radio at the end of that run, Bill, said, I'm getting worse and worse every lap. I need some help here, guys. And they made major changes up on the track bar, air pressure adjustments in both rear tires, trying to loosen up the 20 car a little bit for Tony, make it a little more drivable for him into the corners.
The car looks pretty good right now, Marty. He's passing a lot of cars on the inside, and that's in traffic.
So maybe the changes that Greg Zippendale and the crew made are going to work. We see the Biffle car being passed by Mike Bliss behind Tony Stewart. Matt, what's going on with the 29 car?
He just lost a spot to Tony Stewart. Now he had trouble with hearing on his radio. He could not hear the team earlier. Also had issues with his left front fender. It was pushed in, BP. They had to pull it back out. He says the car is tight off. Really good on entry.
And that's one thing here, Matt. You know, your spotter is pretty important at this racetrack because it is so tight. So that can make it difficult in traffic.
Riding on board with Harvick.
200 miles per hour, 2, 3, 4.
Radio communications have always been somewhat of a headache for teams at this track.
Yeah, they are. It's difficult, and you know, you don't really think about how much you use it until you don't have them.
Right.
You know, or you're having problems with them.
Back in the early 70s, these teams didn't have a problem with communication with radios because they didn't use them.
They didn't have them.
Yeah, pit boards.
Big ones, too. The car looks pretty good right there. I mean, you see him short shoot, taking the car all the way down on the bottom. Got to jump on the gas as hard as you can, as fast as you can, but his hands look pretty good on the steering wheel. It doesn't look like he's fighting it too much right there.
Sadler leads, the 25 of Vickers in second. Do you know what the sponsor is on that 25 car, BP, for Brian Vickers?
Let's see. Garnier Fructis.
Very close. Garnier Fructis. Do you know what it is?
Well, yeah, it's a hair product or something.
Yeah, it's shampoo and conditioner, and there's yours. I had some sent up just for you.
Well, here, Walter, you can have mine because I certainly don't need it.
Mayfield closing in. Marty, how about the radio issues for car 19?
Bill, I was going to ask you, did you get Vinny the travel size of that hair care product?
I got him extra large. You know why?
Why is that? Because he's big.
Thank you.
That's very true. Let's Jeremy Mayfield's radio problems. He didn't know that he had a radio problem until he was under caution. He just thought that the team just wasn't talking to him a whole lot. So what they did is he had a backup radio in the car. He hooked the backup radio up. When they come back down pit road next time, they'll give him a brand new radio, and that one will now be the backup radio. Alan?
Nice job by Brian Vickers, Hendrick Motorsports crew on their pit stop, getting him up to second spot. Vickers with 4 tires, saying his car, when they get toward the end of the run on the set of tires that time, got a little bit difficult to turn in the corner, but just a little.
You see Robbie Gordon getting put a lap down. They've been in the pits a couple times trying to make all those adjustments, trying to get back off the qualifying setup or get on a race setup, but now he's still a good spot to get that lap back at the Yellowstone Tower.
And just to update, championship leader Jimmy Johnson up to 22nd. So he's moving the right way. The 9 of Casey Kane with a little bit of a different look this weekend, Marty.
Yeah, kind of the reverse paint scheme, if you will, Bill. And he's holding solid right there in the 4th position, having a very good day. The car has been tight on the pit stop. They went up on the track bar. They also made an air pressure adjustment, taking a pound out of the right front tire. I talked to Tommy Baldwin. He said our worst enemy is traffic. He said because our car is already tight, when we're in traffic, it's that much tighter. So sometimes you'll see him drop back from other cars. But so far, he's had a little bit of difficulty trying to pass other cars. Maybe we'll see him use an outside lane like he did last year.
And Casey Kane also has a new multi-year contract to drive for Ray Evernham, as does crew chief Tommy Baldwin. Well, Elliott Sadler continues to lead. He's led 31 of the 32 laps completed here at the Brickyard. Earlier today, Casey Kane met the winner of the Allstate Challenge, Mike Arnold of St. Louis. Now, if Casey wins today's Allstate 400 at the Brickyard, Mike will win an additional $400,000.
Wow!
And guess where Casey's running right now?
Come on, Casey, says Mike.
Third place for Kane.
Those two Dodges look pretty good. I think they're Sadler's flying, but every once in a while, Mayfield in that 19 he'll take the fastest lap, and sometimes Sadler will.
It looks like when either of those cars make a perfect lap, hit their marks exactly right, they have the fastest lap. But it's more consistently the 38 than the 19.49.
So Elliott Sadler comes around to complete another lap. The driver is doing an outstanding job, but he gives credit to his crew for giving him the car that might get him a win at Indianapolis.
The effort my team puts in for this race is absolutely amazing. I think Doug Yates has been stuck in the motor ring for the past few months, and we started designing this car about 6 months ago, and it's taken about 4 or 5 months to actually build it, and we kept doing it, redoing it until we think we got it right. Came up here for the test, and we were lightning fast right out of the box. So my guys have done a great job with this car. Now it's got to be my job as a driver to make sure we go out here and do a good job on Sunday, but I definitely got the tools to do it with, and I think we got some form. We just got to put it all in play.
Caution on the speedway for Jeff Green.
Another one.
Another left front tire.
Another left front. And we're going to, I talked to a lot of guys in the garage area about this on Saturday. There was a lot of guys that were worried about this, Benny. I mean, Kurt Busch and some of those guys were saying 12, 15 laps, they were down to the cords.
In Pocono in June, 21 left front tires went flat for whatever reason. Goodyear says that the teams are underinflating them. We showed you just a moment ago that narrow strip down the straightaway. Imagine 200 miles per hour and the tire about flat.
Yeah.
When you go on the freeway and you see all those truck tires laying on the side, that's because the tire was run flat. And most of the situations like these left front tires is low air pressure and excessive camber causing this.
This track is 2.5 miles around, and that's a long trip back to pit road. Good news for Robbie Gordon. He's the Ballpark Lucky Dog Award winner. Deep in the field, but he gets his lap back. He was the first car, highest running car, not on the lead lap. So Robbie's guys will get a chance to work on that machine again, and he'll be back on the lead lap.
We've always known he was a lucky dog.
Yeah. And so everybody will be coming in, putting more tires on. I guess you got to now, especially with some tire issues. You got to keep putting tires on these cars.
There's a brake hose that the left front tire, as it came apart, just took the brake hose off the car, laid it on the racetrack. Now he has, if they do repair the car, he has no cooling back to the brakes on the automobile.
Robbie Gordon going back on the lead lap will put 41 cars on the lead lap. That means 41 cars will be heading down pit road.
Some of these cars have hoses pointing to the inside of these tires to keep them cool. So they've got 6, 7 hoses on the front of these cars here.
Only about 14 green flag laps on these tires. See if anybody wants track position really badly.
Oh, no.
I just said we'll see.
No. They want tires more than they want track position.
Right. Here they come.
Oh, careful. So the accordion really collapses as they get close to that pit road entrance.
Jason Leffler hit that commitment cone during the last round of stops. Matt Yoakum.
A possible issue with the throttle linkage on the 21 or carburetor. Ricky Rudd is not sure. He says something is just a little weird as they blow the brake dust out of that left front wheel. No adjustments for this former winner, Snyder.
Matt, the 19 car of Jeremy Mayfield's in the middle of your screen. He said, man, this thing is fast. Slugger Labby said, well, let's make no changes. The only change Jeremy wants, a bag of ice for a little comfort. Alan?
Elliott Sadler, the leader, and his crew chief, Todd Parrott. A long debate about 2 or 4 tires. Todd said, we know there'll be people get 2 here, and there are plenty, but we'll take 4. I think we'll be better off, Dave.
For 2 runs in a row, the 41 of Casey Mears has started out very, very loose. He has ended the run saying the car is awesome. So on both pit stops, they have made no changes to that car except for the 4 fresh tires.
So I'm guessing maybe a couple of guys took just 2.
Yeah, would you think so?
You think?
I'll tell you what, we'll take a break and then we'll come back and find out. But I think some guys just took 2 here at Indy.
The Allstate 400 at the Brickyard is brought to you by Bank of America, Higher Standards. By Pizza Hut, home of the new cheesy twisted crust pizza. Gather round the good stuff. By Garnier Fructis Style, unleash your style. And by Advance Auto Parts. For the best parts, people, and price, we're ready in advance.
Still under caution here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Rusty Wallace had to make an additional stop, and so did that car, the 31 car of Jeff Burton. Let's take a look inside our NBC pit window.
Okay, the 31 car, Jeff Burton, sitting on pit road. They're going to change right side tires. Okay, roll it. Bring the tire around. Tire changer takes the tire off. All right, we slam on the next one. Roll the tire away. He's going to get up to go around. What? Look out. Whoa. Jeff Burton all of a sudden takes off. Just takes off.
Yeah, that's, I don't understand. He didn't have all the lugs on that right front.
He also ran over the air hose, and he also has a clutch problem.
And maybe that's what happened. Maybe when the driver comes in to make a pit stop, he stops, he puts the car in neutral, normally. When they drop the jack on the right side, then he puts it back in gear to get ready to leave. And maybe when he jammed it in gear, the clutch wasn't disengaged, and it shot forward. Matt, do you have any idea what happened?
BP, go back to their very first pit stop. When they came around to service the left side of the car, Jeff said the car felt weird. It lurched forward. It rolled off the jack. That's where they got the cosmetic damage to the left side door. Possibly that's where the clutch was already starting to fade. Dave?
Matt, this was on the front grille of Rusty Wallace's car. It's a windshield tear-off. They tear them off in layers so they don't have to clean the windshield all the time. One of these came off somebody else's car onto the track and got under Rusty's grill. It was overheated. He pitted twice to run water through the cooling system from an iced cooler, and now the temperatures are back down in the 2 car.
There you see, that's what happens. That hose is under pressure. More pressure than it pops off the pressure valve, so it's able to put cold water inside the engine.
But you hope that the damage hasn't already been done because it was hot.
Barry, that's right.
They have waved off the field. They gave them the 1 to go, but now the caution flag is back out. Here's the Craftsman pit summary. Elliott Sadler came out 6th. Mayfield and Kane also falling back. That's because several cars only took 2 tires, including Brian Vickers, Michael Waltrip, Matt Kenseth, Kyle Busch, and Jeff Gordon. We'll be back in a moment.
back here at a packed Nextel experience with our Nextel Fan of the Week, Sarah Mulhauser from Cincinnati, Ohio. You have a unique hobby and you're holding it.
Yes, I'm an abstract printmaker, and my inspiration comes from Nextel NASCAR tracks. And I've done 17 so far. I need to do 6 more. Every Sunday I sit down in front of the TV and I assemble the fabric and I sew them and then I print them. And they are created this way.
And you get it from the aerial shots.
Exactly. Right before the commercial breaks, I always have to sit and wait and see the aerial shot of the tracks.
Well, if you'd like your shot at being a lucky Nextel Fan of the Week, it's very easy. Just log on to NASCAR.com/Nextel.
Man, I got a question for you. What racetrack was that she was holding?
I'm glad you said it.
And there's the shot for this week from the helicopter.
All right, she'll be able to go home, watch the tape, and...
Okay, we're under a lengthy yellow here, and...
No, not too lengthy.
Well, hopefully not, but here's why we're under an extended yellow.
Watch the 32 car. When he blew a tire, he went over with the rumble strips here in turn 1, and he knocked them off. Well, what holds those strips in place in the racetrack, they're bolted to the track. So when he knocked those off the track, we had the bolts sticking up, which could have caused lots of problems, obviously, if you ran over them. So these guys are backing the bolts out and taking care of that problem.
And those strips are down there to keep you from running down there, aren't they, basically?
Yeah, they are, and, well, so much for that.
Yes, so this track just got a little bit wider, didn't it, in the turns? Here's our Busch Series update, the unofficial results from last night, as Alan Bestwick talked about. Benny, you saw Martin Truex go to victory lane at IRP.
Great job. Clint Boyer was the best car of the first half. Martin Truex the best car of the second half.
So we're still under caution. They will get the 1 to go this time by. We'll go back to green flag racing when NBC's coverage of the Allstate 400 at the Brickyard continues.
Try it again. You want to go with the 1?
The field is coming to get the green flag. Listen to Greg Biffle's concerns about the restarts on the track.
The main thing, Mule, is when they're bunching up. It's going to be every restart today. You usually see the guy in front of me, but that's about it. Talk early. You know, how they're kind of bunching up or they're stopping. You can tell me that it's looking shaky, and I'll be on my toes.
And the reason that is you can't see. You know, when these places so narrow, you're down right on the racetrack. You can't see 1 or 2 cars ahead of you that well.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with Kyle Busch. Got out of line before the green flag.
And I guess the spotter told Biffle it looks a little shaky.
It definitely did look shaky. Out of turn 1. Through 2. Brian Vickers, the race leader. The top 5 guys. Vickers, Waltrip, Kenseth, Kyle Busch, and Jeff Gordon took just 2 tires on the recent stop. Somebody said that could happen, but...
Now we'll see how good these cars, you know, a lot of times we see a car get out front. When it gets out front in that clean air, it's hard to pass, and it's fast. So we'll see how good Elliott Sadler's car is right now, as well as Mayfield, because they've got some traffic ahead of them.
Look at Matt Kenseth in that 17 car. Where did he come from?
2-tire stop, and he had been marching through the field. Marty.
I just talked to Robbie Reiser and asked him why the 2 tires. He said, why not the 2 tires? All we need is a little track condition. I think the car is good. I think one of our biggest problems is we're back in traffic, and that makes the car tighter. So we want to get him up front, get him some clean air, and see if he can run up front. Obviously, he can.
It doesn't look like that 2-tire stop is working very well for the 15 car of Michael Waltrip. Here comes Elliott Sadler, the 38 on the inside of Jeff Gordon.
And I think we're going to see a lot of that right there in the next 5 or 6 laps.
That'd be Elliott Sadler passing cars?
Yes.
Alan, how about it?
Well, if you've got a car that you think is
trouble.
Casey Mears.
Left front tire's flat, isn't it?
The caution is out.
No, guess it isn't.
Contact with Kurt Busch is what we're hearing.
Yeah. That's a save there. Spinning here and not hit anything at Indianapolis.
I got on the brakes and it just started left. Touched the 97. I got loose getting in. Saved it all the way through.
He's got some damage here right over the left front. He's going to have to get fixed. So that tire probably will rub. The left. Look at how low the left front is.
That looks like it's flat.
Yeah.
Casey Mears put this car in the wall yesterday on his qualifying attempt.
Here they are 3 wide. Going down in turn 3. Oh, just made a little contact with the 97 car. As he said, enough to get him out of shape.
Man, look at that. He didn't hit anything. That is a great save.
That is unbelievable what that is. Well, we got a new hero.
Yeah,
Casey Mears.
say. That's what Rusty tried to do yesterday in qualifying, but
failed. Jeff Green will be the lucky dog. Kyle Busch was good on that last restart. Nice job by him. Dave?
Bill, remember during the last pit stop we talked about how Casey's car started very loose on the runs and came to him during the latter part of the run. That was the same thing that was happening here. They didn't make any changes the last time. Casey likes it that way, but when you're cutting it that close, you have to really be careful on the beginning parts of the run.
yeah, he actually looks like he just misjudged a little bit when the 97 car of Kurt Busch went by. He turned down and it looked like he just misjudged a little bit and got into the 97 there.
That was today. Here's a look at what happened to Casey yesterday.
During his qualifying lap.
Yep.
Bam! But he was going for it. He had the fastest time in practice. He wanted another pole for the Brickyard.
Family watching. Originally, they started to get the backup car off the truck and then decided they could repair the car that he had wrecked. Some teams going to take this opportunity to come back to pit road, including Casey. Most of the leaders stay out. We check in with Matt on Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Not the day that Dale Jr. had hoped for. Right side tires only what they're scheduled to do on this stop. Now, Bill, they have gone back and forth trying to find the balance. Jr. says the car is better, but not a lot. He says it's still really tight. We only fixed about 10% of the problem. The air pressure adjustment on the last stop was going in the right direction. They're going to do more of that on this stop. Bill?
You sure, Matt? They looked like the crew guys wanted to change 4 on that one, and they dropped the jack, and Jr. took off.
Well, that's what they told him before he hit pit road. 2 tires on this stop. Maybe they were doing an audible, and Junior just did not get the communication.
Looked like there's a little confusion there.
Some guys definitely thought they were changing 4. The Jack man being one of them.
Yeah.
So Dale Earnhardt Jr. returns to the track. Brian Vickers leads. Can Elliott Sadler get back to the front? 43 drivers under pressure at Indianapolis. Okay. Okay.
Company car to the outside here, about 5 minutes. Right here. I didn't catch that number.
The Allstate 400 at the Brickyard is brought to you by the Ford Family Plan. From the Ford family to the American family, welcome. By KFC's new 99-cent snacker. Now your dollar goes further at KFC. By Nextel. Enter the Nextel Race to the Chase sweepstakes for a chance to win $250,000. And by Budweiser, the official beer of NASCAR. Grab a cold one, the race is on.
And Alan, you're correct. The race is on. Green flag.
And last time we saw Kyle Busch get out of line to avoid hitting the car in front of him, Jeff Gordon made the legal pass on the inside, so both drivers made a good move. Now Matt Kenseth looks for the lead inside of Brian Vickers. Kenseth in the 17 to the point.
Might lose another one. Vickers had to go a little bit high once Kenseth went in and lost his momentum. Might lose a couple of spots here.
Right, Kyle Busch, the 5 car, is going for second spot. And looks like Michael Waltrip will have to fall back in third. Alan, how about Vickers? He say anything?
Not since the restart. He's got his hands full a little bit, BP, but just a thought on why they took 2 tires. It wasn't what you were thinking, just the track position thing. As crew chief Lance Brevoux told me, they're already thinking about the last pit stop in the race, back timing, 2 tires, 4 tires, 2 tires, 4 tires, and so on. So they know they can just take those right side tires on that last pit stop at the end of the race. Can you believe they're thinking about that already?
So obviously, Alan, those guys aren't having any tire issues at all, right?
No, the only guy on my end of pit road that I saw with any right front issue at all was Ken Schrader, and it was just barely a little mark on that inside shoulder of his right front. Everybody's tires off that first set of stops looked really good, Wally.
Yep. Okay. A couple of former Brickyard winners, the 24 of Gordon, the 29 of Harvick around the 15, and here comes Biffle.
Oh, Michael, did he have a head of steam in that 16 car or what?
Harvick trying to make the move on Gordon down on the low side. And you know, you do get a little bit of drafting here.
Matt on Biffle.
Both the 29 of Harvick and the 16 of Biffle, Bill, track position move. They both took out 2 tires in their last stop. Todd Barrier, the 29 crew, said we want to try it now to see if that's the move we want to do later. And also the same thing for Doug Richard. Said our car had been tight. They needed the track position, trying to get out of that dirty air, get into a little more cleaner air to help the nose of that car.
Well, I tell you what, Casey Kane made those guys pay for running side by side, didn't he? Talking about the 16 and 29, 15 and 29.
Wow, Nemechek trying to get by Jeremy Mayfield.
And Jimmy Johnson, the championship leader, trying to bust a move.
So the 19 is struggling a little bit in traffic. Doesn't have that clean air like he did earlier.
Johnson started back in 38.
Dave, this 48 car's had a terrific run so far.
Really did, and Chad Knaus reminded us yesterday when we talked to him after that qualifying debacle that his team really responds well to adversity. They've done it again today as Jimmy goes a little bit high, and that car is just losing the nose a little bit off the corner earlier. That was the problem they were having. Marty?
Dave, Tony Stewart's trying to work his way back up through the field after the most recent pit stops. He restarted 20th. He's up to the 14th position right now. The car was extremely tight for Tony. So what they did, plenty of things. Added a rubber to the right rear, a pound on both left side tires, a round of wedge out, and a pound in the right rear tire. Trying to get that car better for Tony. It's very good at the beginning of a run, but it just goes too tight too quickly.
He's seeing a heck of a race out the windshield, isn't he?
Oh, foul! It looked like Casey Kane was going to get inside him. Harvick made contact. Oh, great job by
both of those guys. I'll tell you what, that 24 car's got an engine under that hood today. Man, that thing is strong on those straightaways. Alan, what's going on with the 24? He looks like he's got a strong car today.
Yeah, he may have a strong engine, Wally, but he's struggling a little bit in the corners right now. I just talked to Robbie Loomis, the crew chief. He said in traffic, the front end of their car doesn't want to turn like Jeff needs it to. You know that old arrow push thing?
Yeah.
You can describe what that means.
He's right in the middle of it right now, and that's what we're seeing with a lot of these guys. They get back in traffic, they just don't have the downforce on the front of their car, so the cars won't turn. When you're out there by yourself or you don't have a lot of cars around you, your car is going to handle a lot better.
Nemechek, the 0-1 car, able to get by Biffle, but guess what? They got the corner. Biffle, 50-16, back by him.
Meanwhile, Vickers up to second. Kyle Busch to third, behind leader Matt Kenseth.
Boy, this is good stuff.
This is.
These cars.
Goes Biffle.
And the 16 under Michael Waltrip. Joe Nemechek in the 0-1 Army Chevrolet. And Mayfield in the 19, who was so strong early.
Joe's car is working pretty good right now in traffic. There he goes on the inside of Michael Waltrip in the 15th. Tell you what, Army car is strong.
And here comes Jeremy Mayfield back in the 19 car.
Michael just looks like in that 15 car he's having a hard time. Alan, what's going on with 15 cars?
Well, Wally, that story I told about Jeff Gordon just a minute ago.
Okay, same thing.
Ditto. Michael Waltrip having a tough time with front end grip in traffic. Not enough air on the nose. And you know, the other thing, guys, the cloud cover has really thickened here. The temperature outside has cooled a little bit. That's great for the guys down here on pit road, but it's changing the handling on some of these cars.
Yeah, that's probably going to make the cars push even worse.
Well, we saw it just yesterday in qualifying, the temperature change affecting race cars.
Ricky Rudd, the 21 car, closes on the back of Jeff Gordon in 24. And there's Mike Bliss in the 0. A terrific run today for Bliss.
He's running 15th last time by, took 2 tires on his last stop. There's Bliss in the 0 car.
Mark Martin in the 6 car. Some of these guys just haven't made the gains we thought they would. once they got back in traffic, Mark had a really strong car early, but he's just kind of hanging out in that 15th to 18th spot right now.
And these guys that took 2 tires have been stronger than we thought.
There we go. Jeff Gordon losing another spot to Bliss.
Uh-oh, we got a problem on left front or left rear? Left front, yeah.
He just came on the radio, said it blew. Brian Pemberton said, I know, I saw it. It's the left front for the 01.
That's what, 3 today so far?
Yep.
They have had the worst luck.
It way down.
And that's the thing, these tires are going today.
Just blew the front fender off and tore the hood up.
And a lot of other stuff too, I'm sure, when they get,
you know, some places,
out.
if the tire goes down, you can catch it. You can get in and get a tire change without tearing the car up. But we haven't seen that today.
No.
They're going to, the left front tire will have to go flat in this short shoot between 3 and 4 to save the race car. It happened so quickly.
Well, remember what happened here last year? Sterling Marlin cut one down, decided not to come onto pit road, tried to make a lap, caught the car on fire.
I remember that.
And then Robbie did the same thing.
Yeah. You see, he knows the tire's flat right now, and you can see some smoke, but you're going so fast. He's trying to get down to the inside of the racetrack. Guys see him, he's got a problem, but you're still going so fast when that tire goes flat, it just starts ripping apart.
Ryan Pemberton is watching the video. He sees the left front.
Wait till he sees it really come apart.
Marty.
Oh, man, I don't know if you guys can see all the damage, but, I mean, there's a ton of it on the left front for Joe Nemechek. And literally 5 laps before the tire happened, he had radioed to the crew, said this car is getting very, very good. And we had just talked about how fast the 01 car was, Wally, and now this.
Yeah,
that's the problem. We talk about low air pressure, but the lower the air pressure, the better the car's handled.
Exactly. That's why we talked about how good that car looked in traffic.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't look too good now, does it?
No, doesn't look good at all, sitting on pit lane.
That team has had a very rough season, and they have had some of the world's worst luck.
Okay, decision time. Pit road or no pit road? 2 tires, 4 tires, fuel?
They're coming. Yep, they're all coming.
Now, what are we going to do? 2, 4?
Well, let's watch and find out. 58 laps are complete. In the field down pit road at Indianapolis. Matty.
2003 winner Kevin Harvick making his way down pit road. Now they played a strategic move, went with a 2-tire plan on the last stop, gained a lot of track position. The car still tight. They're going to make a slight air pressure adjustment to free it up. Marty.
Leader Matt Kenseth in the 17 car, top of your screen. He said, I want a half round of wedge in the car. Just a little bit tight for Kenseth. They debated on 2 again, but decided 4. Alan?
Brian Vickers going to get 4 tires and fuel, a small air pressure adjustment to try and help the car turn better in the corners. Good stop.
Championship leader Jimmy Johnson made a 4-tire stop. He said, my car pushes off the corner about a 6 on a scale to 10, so that he made a big track bar adjustment on the 48.
Look at Kurt Busch, came out 10th, gained 10 positions on that. Looks like Mayfield might have changed 2 tires in that 19, trying to get that track position. 38 car,
yep.
2 tires.
Yes, sir. So we'll sort this out. A variety of strategies playing out in the 12th running of the Allstate 400 at the Brickyard. You're watching NASCAR on NBC.
Doug, down pit road. Guy looking for his pit box. Coming in.
10-4. You know, that's what we're going to have to deal with all day long here. But we'll just keep our fenders on it. That's more important.
Held up real good, Doug.
Boy, I want to see the tire wear on those when we get done.
Simple.
19 and 6 both took 2.
I know the 17, the 25, 29. I know they got 4. 97 got 2, Bobby.
Tires look real good, Greg. Don't worry about anything.
Back.
An early race contender, Ricky Rudd, on pit road, carburetor issues. Len Wood of the Wood Brothers quickly changing the carburetor, trying to beat the pace car in the field as they're in the middle of 3 and 4, getting ready to come out of 4. They're thrashing so they do not lose a lap. An early contender in this race until a number of teams took on the 2-tire strategy. They stuck with 4. They're coming down the front stretch, trying to get the air cleaner back on. You can hear Fatback yelling at the team, hurry, hurry.
Get the thermal air cleaner, let him go.
The car has fired. The pace car's going by. They've got to get the rest of the hood pins in. He's away. Is he going to beat him, Bill?
We'll watch, Matt, but I don't believe he will. The stop sign should be out when he gets there.
So he's going to speed. He's going to beat him, but we saw Dale Earnhardt Jr. do the same thing. Do you have the stop sign out?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So he knows, too. Ricky knows, well, may as well get to the end.
We saw Dale Earnhardt Jr. Pocono do the same thing, speed down pit road, and NASCAR says, wait a minute, you can't do that to evade a penalty.
Yeah. So he's too fast exiting, didn't accomplish what he needed to do.
I got it. We need to come back to everything.
1997 winner of the Brickyard 400. Travis Quapple, the lucky dog, under that caution. Now watch this. Michael Waltrip under caution.
He's chilling out right now, but a little while ago.
This is racing with Biffle in the 16.
This guy's made contact, and you can see Michael wasn't real happy with it. Just going,
Michael, what are you doing? He sticks his hand out the window. Yeah, I made the observation that the 9 car used that 15 and 16 racing side by side to pass both of them.
There's Biffle, 5-time winner this year. Michael Waltrip, 2-time Daytona 500 winner. Marty?
Bill, in 2006, Ford will introduce the Fusion to NASCAR racing, but you can buy it in September if you want to. And this past Tuesday, Dale Jarrett continued the Ford approval process with NASCAR as he tested the new Fusion at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Of course, it's Ford's first new nameplate since 1968. And here's what DJ had to say about that test.
The Fusion seemed to be a car that's well balanced, something that we were looking for that would be good entering the corner and through the center of the corner and exit. I was very pleased with that. The car didn't seem to fall off much in a 10-lap run, and that's what we were looking to achieve. Had the speed at the beginning to run well, so I was very pleased with the new Fusion.
Field coming around to get the green flag here in Indianapolis. Casey Mears, the race leader, did not pit.
And I don't expect him to be there.
Trouble Jr. hard in the inside wall, back across the racetrack.
Got Truex.
Hits his teammate, Truex.
And Truex was there because of a speeding violation, and that's what happens when you get sometimes when you make a mistake in the pits, costs you out on the racetrack.
And this will be huge for Junior's championship chase chances.
This is pretty much it for it. He had to really come out of this race with a good day to keep their chances alive, and this pretty much does them in.
And you guys had talked about how critical the restarts are here when we heard some of the drivers voicing their concerns about them.
We heard Biffle talking to his spotter, Joel Edmonds, saying, look, tell me if they start blowing up in front of me, let me know.
We also saw Kyle Busch get out of the gas because he thought he was closing too fast. That cost him a few positions. He will head to the garage. Ricky Rudd will get a small positive break here. He is the lucky dog, the car we were watching a moment ago on pit road.
If he wasn't involved in the crash.
Yes.
Because he was very close to the crash and might have been involved, talking about Ricky Rudd in the 21. There's the Scott Wimmer automobile. Yep. He did make some contact.
All right, let's go back and take a look.
Like an accordion here, we'll see if we can see what happens. It looks like, exactly, cars go, then they slow down, and the cars in the back didn't see the guys up ahead slowing down and start running into each other.
It's like 21 was able to get by without any.
Watch how this closes up in front of Dale Jr. He thinks everybody's accelerating. You can't see, like I said, oh, he got turned, he got run into.
Yep, he sure did.
But the thing is, like I said earlier, you can't see one or two cars ahead.
I think maybe that was Mike Skinner behind them when he checked up. But it got in the back of it.
It's all the same thing. It's still an accordion. It was a big accordion. He slowed down. We're not sure who got in the back of him, but obviously somebody did get in the back of him.
Rudd just slipping by on the inside. Robbie Gordon got a piece of it. Boris Said might have gotten a little bit of it.
Let's take one more look again.
That would be
Mike Skinner in 23.
It is Skinner.
There is. There's Robbie with nowhere to go.
Oh, Robbie.
Truex, Wimmer. Boris got through cleanly in the 36. There's Rudd sneaking by. And this is what the people sitting in turn 4 saw.
And Truex is saying, no,
where
this
did he
can't
come
be
from?
happening.
And I was racing at Indy. Oh, I'm not racing at Indy anymore.
Now Truex walks back into the garage.
Wow, that's a lonely feeling. The restarts here have always been pretty tricky. You have so many cars still on the lead lap.
And you can't pull out of line.
Nope.
Till you get past the start-finish line.
Pit road is closed here, but the pace car will bring the field down pit road so they don't have to drive through the debris on the front stretch. Right now, Earnhardt Jr. is 16th in the championship standings. He was 15th before the last lap was completed. And you're right, Wally, this is about the end of his chances to chase for the Nextel Cup.
Really didn't need to lose 80 points, 100 points, whatever he's going to wind up losing. This is going to be pretty much impossible to make up.
And not only is he going to lose points, but a bunch of guys, because it's so tightly bunched back there, are going to go past him in the championship standings.
But the 8 car, like the 24 car, their concern the rest of the year now is not making the NASCAR Nextel Cup, getting this 8 car competitive again, where he's running up front each and every week.
Greg Biffle gives a lot of credit to his success this year, saying this championship run actually began late last year because they were so strong, and it's paying off for Biffle in the chase for the championship. Under caution here in the Allstate 400 at Indianapolis. Casey Mears is scored as the race leader. You're watching NASCAR on NBC.
jet in the middle of the front straightaway blowing off the water that was there. They walked down from where he wrecked to the start-finish line by hand picking stuff up. 2 sweeper trucks from the top. You'll have a jet sitting high right across from the pit box. You'll have 2 sweeper trucks past start finish line, and you'll have 2 safety trucks at the bottom getting into one with people walking in front of them.
NBC Sports live at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The 12th running of the Allstate 400 at the Brickyard, still under caution. Cleanup for a multi-car crash involving Dale Earnhardt Jr. and a handful of others. Time now for the singular Race Talk $1,031 challenge. Rusty Wallace has gone 48 races without a victory in his last Brickyard 400 today. Where will Rusty go to victory lane next? Will it be today? Will it be next week on the road course at Watkins Glen? Maybe later, 2 weeks in Michigan? Or D, Bristol? Don't influence the voters, please.
I'm not going to say a word except if my winner doesn't get 75% of the vote, something's wrong.
To vote, text the word RACE to 191 on your singular wireless phone or go to NASCAR.com. You might win $1,031.
I meant to say my choice in those 4.
We're under caution because of multi-car incident on the restart, coming to the green flag here.
And it's a very slow restart. They accelerate, but as Wally talked about, there's such an accordion effect. By the time it gets back to Junior, he slows. The car behind him, Mike Skinner, can't slow down fast enough, runs in the back of him. And then the racetrack being very narrow, pretty soon 5 cars are gone.
They threw the green about 3 car lengths before I got to the double red line, so it kind of threw me off guard. I think I stacked everybody up. The guys in the middle of the pack start going because they hear the green flags out, and the leaders haven't gone yet.
And see, that's what I was going to just say. The guys in the back are accelerating faster and sooner than the guys in the front, and that's what happens.
That was Casey Mears basically explaining his situation. Dale Earnhardt Jr. reportedly unhappy with the slow pace of the restart. We saw an incident to this very similar in this race a year ago. Dave Burns.
I'm with Chip Ganassi now. Chip, you've watched the restart. You watched it live as well. Did you see anything a little slow about it or wrong with the way Casey led the field to green?
Yeah, no, you know, Dave, you're coming down at the pace car speed, and the acceleration cone and the green flag is in front of the acceleration cone. You can't go anywhere until you see the green flag. I think they're a little late on the green flag.
So it pretty much backs up what you guys have talked about.
And something else, let me show you at restart once again. Look at the big gap between the 42 car and the car behind him, or the car in front of him. See, look at that area. Look at that area. Rusty Walsh is up there, and there must be 5 or 6 car lengths between Rusty and Jamie McMurray.
But, yeah.
And NASCAR asked the 42 car to stay closed up. And something else you'll see with those veterans, they won't necessarily be directly behind the car in front of them. They'll kind of cheat one way or the other if they can in case some trouble breaks out. Marty.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. has come from the infield care center. And what happened on the restart, Junior?
Everybody took off and then everybody stopped. And when I stopped, I got ran into. it's hard to see when you're way back in the back, you know, what the leaders are doing. But they called the green flag, and I was waiting for Bill to go. And when Bill took off, I took off. We stopped again, and I don't think Skinner knew what was going on, and or whoever was behind me, whatever. I think it was Skinner, but just got turned into the wall. So I don't know. My spotter said the leader brake checked on the restart, but I don't know. I haven't seen anything.
This is a devastating blow in terms of the championship. Is it over, Junior?
Man, I just hope I don't have to get back in that piece of crap today. I hope I can go home. So.
But in terms of championship, you lose a lot today.
Well, yeah, obviously, you know, but that's life. You got to deal with it, good and bad. So we'll be all right. If we make the chase, we make it. If we don't, we don't. We still try to win some races 40 years out.
He came in 110 points out of the chase, but this will be a big hit.
Junior, the best thing, get in your rental car and leave. Then you won't have to get back in that car.
And drivers have done that before. Yeah. Should we mention anybody that we know personally that we work with?
Are you insinuating something?
You brought it up.
But the sad thing is, I was in the garage area this morning. They were rolling the front end of the 8 car through the garage area, getting it ready in case they needed a front end and 2 fenders.
Like I said, get in your car, Junior. Drive out.
Take a look at the championship standings as they run today. Tony Stewart, 30 points behind Jimmy Johnson. Remember, the top 10 drivers in the championship standings after race number 26 at Richmond in September qualify for the chase to the Nextel Cup. There's also drivers within 400 points of the leader. Right now, the 400-point mark is not a factor, but you can look at these other guys.
Dale Jarrett has not run well today, has backed up 1 spot to 11th. Murray in the 42 has gone up to the 10th spot.
Field got the 1 to go last time by, and will go green flag racing, or at least try to, this time by. Casey Mears, the race leader, the pole sitter from a year ago with a new track record. Brian Vickers currently runs 7th. And this is his radio communication about driver comfort a few moments ago.
Good time for you to be doing a lot of drinking there, bud. Hey, Farmer wants you to do your in-speed exercises in there so you don't cramp up.
Not sure what those are, but I'll figure something out.
You said you had a little routine in there, like a rocket.
Yeah, I'm going to take it to Broadway soon.
These cars are very hot here. This is one of the hottest races that a driver will run in. And how hot is it? Go put your coat on, go sit in your car, roll the windows up, and turn the heat on. And it's still not as hot as what's inside these race cars here.
Feel the race like never before in 360 degrees of full surround sound. Get ready to hear the big picture, because the only way to experience the full impact of HD is with NBC Sports and Sony HD Audio.
I'll tell you what, these restarts are tough when you're back 15th to 35th.
And you'll see the drivers will move to the left a little bit so they can see down the racetrack and have to avoid the guy in front of them if something boxes up. And it's very hard to see at this racetrack.
Casey Kane, the 9 car. Looks like he had visions of passing Elliott Sadler. That would be a news story.
Here's Sadler.
Goes Vickers underneath in the 25 car, taking the spot from Mark Martin.
Tony Stewart. Kyle Busch looking to follow him through.
Here comes Casey Kane.
Yep, wow. That.
Watch out.
Looked like that 38 car was an unbeatable rocket, but he is passed by Casey Kane and Tony Stewart. Looked like he was trying to get on the inside of Vickers, couldn't quite make it.
Mark Martin, that 6 car, struggling a little bit on this restart.
For the lead, Casey Kane looking inside of Casey Mears. 25-year-old Casey Kane leads at Indianapolis. We'll watch this. Marty.
Martin Truex Jr. was just talking to me about what a great car you had today, but what happened on that restart, Martin?
Oh, I don't know. Just something happened up front, and we all checked up, and I was up by the wall, and Junior come back across right in front of me, hit me left front. So just unfortunate. We were having a decent run there. It took us a few laps to get going, and once that was, after 5 to 10 laps, we were good. We could run past some cars, and I was having a lot of fun out there, but it wasn't meant to be today. I got to thank Pops and all them guys, Behover, and everybody over there working on the one car, and Bono and all the guys on my Chance 2 team that come over and pitted it. Everybody's doing a good job. We were having some fun, and the car was pretty decent, but it wasn't meant to be.
Won the race last night, out early today at the big race.
All right, here we go. 38 car, Elliott Sadler trying to take over second spot from Casey Mears, the 41 car.
I think Sadler saw Casey Kane go by and had to sit up in the seat a little bit straighter.
So this is not going to be as easy as I thought it was.
Kane won at Richmond earlier this year. In the 9 races since, only one top 15 finish.
Mayfield's going to pick off Casey Mears here. Matter of time. Jeremy in the 19 car. Yeah, those Dodgers are looking good, though.
And the last time most of the field pitted, Mears did not.
All right, here we go. Jeremy Mayfield, 19. Will take that spot away. Goes into third.
Matt Kenseth trying to get a look.
Wow. That's where your spotter comes in, letting you know that there's a guy making a move on you. 41 is just wishing he had some tires, isn't he, Dave?
Well, of course, the game here was that they had started in the rear, made their way about halfway through the field up to the front, and then had that contact with Kurt Busch that brought out the caution and sent them to the rear. So they had to play a track position game, and now it's just a calculated risk to say, how long can we stay near the front until everyone pits again?
Right.
Vickers washing up there a little bit.
Yeah, and Tony Stewart got by him in the 20, and Kyle Busch in the 5 car got by him.
Looks like it was a good move on Casey Mears. Jimmy Elliott's approaching on this 41 car. They're up front. They have some track position. The way things are going, about 25 laps, we're going to have another caution flag so they can come in and change tires.
Hopefully it's not them.
Yeah.
With tire issues.
There is a report they're looking at the 48 car of Jimmy Johnson for a possible tire rub. Tony Stewart. Oh, looking under Mears. Still looking. Still pedaling.
Oh, he's there.
Marty.
And Bill, you just got to give some credit to these Home Depot guys. They have made this car better for Tony Stewart. Remember, early in the race, it was extremely tight. They've worked on it. Several changes on several stops, and there's trouble on the racetrack with Jimmy Johnson.
The championship leader is around. Gordon gets by.
And he doesn't hit anything. I don't think.
I don't think he did either, BP.
He did left front. The valence is pushed under just a little bit in front of the left front tire, but that might have been when he was going around and around. The spring is so soft, I guess it went down and drug the racetrack.
He spun here a year ago and didn't hit anybody. Down in turn 1.
How do you do that? I never spun in my life. I didn't hit the wall.
I was going to say the same thing.
Okay, so you want to drive a Nextel Cup car at Indianapolis, huh? Hang on. Here you go, on board with Johnson.
And we're finished. Hey, Jimmy. Down on the bottom.
Looks like he just, I don't know, it looks like he jumped on the gas and got loose.
Yeah, hey, look at this. Ricky Rudd, hard contact with the wall.
You gonna make it around, you gotta have a record.
When did that happen? There's a back stretch right there.
Off of 2.
Turn 2, so he must have gotten the smoke or something, and because you couldn't see anything behind Jimmy when he was.
The window net is down, so Ricky's okay, moving around. 48 on pit road. Dave, an update?
Just on and off pit road, 4 tires for Jimmy Johnson, guys.
Thank you.
He's going on. A lot of damage. He's calling out
and he's
there.
Done. One here in 1997. with the team he owned. Let's see if we can see what happened to Rudd. A wave to the fans.
There's the 48 spinning.
I'm guessing Ricky let up and somebody else didn't. That's the safer barrier right there on the right-hand side of your screen, the softer wall.
I think he missed it. Well, I guess he did hit it initially. See, all right, let's see if we can see behind the 48 car, just at the very top.
Look at how much smoke. These guys are driving into that smoke and they cannot see a thing.
Hard to tell.
He might have had some. He might have had some contact. There was another car around. Now, whether or not he made contact with the 21, I couldn't tell.
There's one guy that probably knows for sure.
Yeah, we'll ask him maybe.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is going to be a good picture here of smoke.
This is going to hurt.
And the track cleanup crew out there to get the 21 back to the garage. Dave?
Okay, now they're going to do some adjustments on the 48 car. They've talked about it throughout this pit stop. They're going to take some spring rubbers out of that left rear tire, which is something that will make that car just a little bit looser. But to compensate for that, they're going to lower the track bar. They've already done that, which is on the right side of the car. They want to balance it a little bit differently. Jimmy's not been happy with the handling of this car, especially in turns 1 and 2, and it was off turn 2 that he spun.
Well, Jimmy Johnson came in here with a 66-point lead in the championship standings. A lot of talk this weekend about Tony Stewart winning at the Brickyard. Right now, with Johnson struggling, Tony Stewart leads the championship standings by 43 points over Johnson. And Stewart is running 5th. So could you imagine the size of the party if Stewart wins here tonight?
It takes over the lead.
In the championship standings? That Dairy Queen's not going to be big enough. Pit road is open. We'll see what happens.
So Jimmy's been making these stops without pit road being open, I guess.
So he'll start at the tail end of the longest line,
which is 30.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of guys coming in. Some of the guys in the middle, maybe towards the back. I don't think the leaders will be in. When you're rubbing your tires like that, keeping them warm, that means the 9 car is not coming in.
41. Now he can't afford to pit because he'll go back to 39th. Well, I guess he is going to pit.
And here they come.
Ooh, Biffle back out.
Dave.
Casey Mears, who had fallen back just a bit in the field, needed to make some adjustments to that car because it wanted to spin out. They will add air to the left front tire. That will help. 4-tire change for the right and red number 41. Matt?
And the 29 of Harvick is in. Possible fuel only for Mark Martin. Meanwhile, they're going to make a 2-tire change for Harvick as Martin is already away. Fueling up. There's a little bit of trouble there in the left front fender. Pulling it out. Alan?
Brian Vickers comes in. He is going to take 4 tires on this pit stop, surrounded by Michael Waltrip and Jeff Gordon, both in. Gordon in behind Vickers, getting also 4 tires. Looks like they had some problems on the stop. Having problems on the stop. Long time on the right side of the 24 car. We'll follow up and see what happened.
Looks like they were doing a spring rubber there, Alan, and the right rear.
All right, well, I'll follow up and just double check.
Michael Waltrip also on pit road.
And now on the way, as long as it took on the right rear, they might have been installing one of those spring rubbers inside the spring rather than taking one out.
Yeah.
When you take one out, it's a rather easy thing to do, but sliding one between the 2 coils is a little difficult.
So the top 6 drivers elect to stay on the track, but behind them, some fresh rubber on some pretty fast cars. The championship leader spinning out of control. Rudd in the wall at Indianapolis.
Bobby, I just wonder if there's some way we could choreograph using just silver and then roll the left front, something of that nature.
"77 laps completed the Brickyard, and here's what you've seen so far. Elliott Sadler took him to the green flag.
Biffle's ignition system goes sour. He goes to a backup, and everything is okay.
Lap 23, Bobby Hamilton Jr. cuts a left front.
One of 3 that we'll see today so far.
Lap 38 is Jeff Green, the 43 car, that has a left front problem.
Lap 47.
Save of the day so far.
Casey Mears.
Joe Nemechek, a left front tire in the 01 car, and it just tears the left front fender off the car.
Restart on lap 63. Mike Skinner bumps into the rear. Dale Earnhardt Jr. puts Jr. into the wall, and for now, out of the race.
Here comes Jimmy Johnson. Looks like his car was just a little bit loose on throttle. He spins around, doesn't hit anything. But unfortunately, Ricky Rudd, behind this, did hit the wall very hard.
There must be a very tiny cameraman on that camera over there, don't you think? Here's our Napa field summary. 6 leaders, 6 caution flags already, 26 caution laps. And Martin Truex Jr. and Dale Earnhardt Jr. are out of the race. Alan?
Well, let's take a minute while it's sort of quiet down here on pit road and talk with Todd Parrott. Took 2 tires a couple of cautions ago, stayed out the last 2. Your thoughts on where you stand strategically in this thing?
Well, I feel like the cars that were racing, the 9, the 19, the 17, and the 20 back there, you know, tire wear seems to be getting better, and track position is so important. As the old saying goes, cautions breed cautions, and track position is so important. We just want to stay up there in clean air. Our car's really good out front. The 9 car's really good, so just hopefully we can get to lap 160 and be out front with this M&M's Ford tires. We've had a great day. The guys in the pits have been flawless. Just, these races get crazy right here at this point in the race, so just have to stay tuned.
Yeah, when I climbed up here, Todd said, man, I hate races like this. And I said, I know, you're trying to keep up with what's what. We'll see what happens here on the restart.
Coming to get the green flag, Casey Kane bringing them down.
Rick Monroe watching, throws the green.
Everyone safely across the line and into 1 and 2. The 29 of Kevin Harvick had to start at the back of the field, the end of the longest line, for a commitment lane violation.
Tony Stewart looked like he was running 40 miles an hour faster than Kenseth in the 17 car when he got to turn 3.
Jimmy Johnson also went to the back of the field for pitting too soon. Matt on car 29.
They were only going to take 2 tires in that stop until they got the commitment line violation. They took the opportunity, Bill, to fix the left front valence. Now Harvick had hit the curbing down in turn 1, which pushed that fender, damaged it, causing more of a tight condition. They tried working on that, knowing he's going to be back in dirty air. Hopefully that will help him as he tries to make his way back to the front. He lost 20 spots.
He just passed halfway, and you would think this is one of like the 5 to go here.
Everybody is fighting hard right now for position. There's Ken Schrader, the 49 car, run by Ryan Newman.
This 49 car, Ken Schrader, has been good the entire week. This car tested well. It's a brand new car. It tested well, and the last couple of days in practice has been extremely good.
And that was for the 10th spot.
Caution flags, we have 39. And Michael Waltrip on pit road.
Left front.
It sure looks like it.
Allen.
Yeah, Michael just jumped on the radio. Flat tire. He's coming in. They're going to change 4 tires and send him back out. That's lousy luck, isn't it?
But fortunately, it happened in a place where he could get to pit lane without losing the fender and the hood.
Waltrip, the long trip down pit road.
I was thinking the same thing, just how long it is.
Left side's only. Pick up the car, guys.
The crew will have to help raise the car because the tire's flat. The jack will not fit underneath it.
He'll go a lap down, but he'll be the only car 1 lap down. So
Get up, go back up, get your ass over. Come on.
Leader's going by now. And he heads back out. That will drop him to 39th.
But Walter brought up a good point. He's the only car 1 lap down, so if there is another caution flag, and why in the world wouldn't there be?
Ouch. There's Kurt Busch, reigning series champion in that 97 car. Mears in the 41, and Jason Leffler.
And Kurt Busch, the 97 car. Last 2 weeks ago at Pocono, dominated the race, had by far the best car, and it looks like today he might be struggling a little bit, Dave.
1 corner of the car, BP, the right front. Kurt has called it inconsistent. Jimmy Fennig has gone to the notebook, the one in his head and the one on his pit box. They cannot figure out why the right front of that car isn't acting fast. That's really the only thing that Kurt Busch has been focused on all day.
And this isn't the car that he was so dominant at Pocono with. I talked to him about it, and he said that they came up with this car. This car tested better here, so they were going to roll the dice and take this car.
Ricky Rudd, treated and released at the Infield Care Center, declined our invitation for an interview.
Got some damage there behind the right rear of Kurt Busch's car.
Mark Martin in the 6 under Ryan Newman.
Just for the damage earlier. And who got into him? 15 car?
Marty on Ryan Newman.
It's been a struggle for the Hoosier native today, Ryan Newman, Bill. They've been trying to get the car better. It's been extremely tight. He called it, we're making baby steps at it. But they really need clean air. And when you're in traffic like Ryan's been all day, you can't find the clean air to make the car any better. So it's been a really rough day for Ryan Newman.
Jeff Burton trying to get by Newman and Burton in the 31 car. He's had an adventure on pit road today.
Steve Neal worked with Mark Martin for so many years over at Roush Racing, now works at DEI, but he was one of the first guys in the garage on Friday morning to come over and look at that throwback paint scheme on that 6 car. And that's a painted car, too. It's not a wrap, which Steve thought was really important. Matt?
Bill, a trying day for Jeff Burton in that orange number 31 car. We told you earlier he's having clutch issues. Now, when he pits, he has to stay in neutral, and then when the jack drops, he tries to jam it into gear and then leave pit road. It could cause a lot of issues. He tries to work the inside of Ryan Newman, the 12 car there, battling for the 14th position.
And the 12 car got a little bit loose when Jeff Burton was behind him in that 31 car, and he's going to lose 2 or 3 spots right here.
Yeah, that one little slip. Burton goes by. Kurt Busch trying to get by, and here comes Casey Mears.
Trying to make it 3 wide there for a second.
Oh, boy.
Jeff Gordon in the 24.
There we go. Now we're going to get 3 wide.
Down the front stretch at Indianapolis.
Gordon's going to pick up 2 spots.
They're watching the 48 car of Jimmy Johnson for a potential tire rub.
That's what you said the last time, just before he spun.
Yep. And want to correct something, Ricky Rudd has agreed to our request for an interview. 24 inside of 97. He's standing by with Marty. Hang on 1 second, Marty.
Now this is where I was saying that 24's got something under the hood. Watch right here.
And Casey Mears is going to try it as well. All right, Marty, go.
All right, BP, Ricky just needed a moment to collect his thoughts. And what happened? You guys had a great car to start off this race with.
Man, it's unbelievable. I had a really good race car. And what happened is the second time this year, I don't know what the deal is. Something inside the carburetor was messing up, and I couldn't get, it was very, very hard to mash the gas pedal down, and afraid it was going to stick and hang open, wide open on us. So they elected, the crew elected to change the carburetor, which was a smart thing to do, and shouldn't have to do it, but they did it. We lost a lap on pit road under yellow. And we were able to get that back at the next caution because of the Lucky Dog Award, and everything was still going good. We had a good, fast, good handling race car, but we just had to make up ground and still had half the race to go. And starting at the back, and we ran about 5-6 laps, and caution comes out, and whoever was behind me, I don't know who it was, didn't elect to slow down when the caution came out, just drove right over top of us and turned us around. Our day's over. It's too bad. I had a really good race car.
All right, see you next week.
Thanks.
Stewart's on the move.
Tony Stewart goes to 3rd position by Mayfield in 19. Joe Nemechek in Series 1 trying to race with no left front fender, or a part of a left front fender. Most of it was torn off.
Parts and pieces left. This was the 773rd consecutive start for Ricky Rudd.
On board with Stewart, going down into turn 3. This turn is fun. Turn 4 is fun.
That place is fun, isn't it?
You're hanging on. See if we can just go a whole lap on board. Here you go down the straightaway. Drive the car in as deep as you can stand it. A little bit of brake. Get the car down the bottom, start picking up the gas, and then as soon as you can, go full throttle. Run full throttle to about here, get off it, let the car roll, then get back on the gas as hard as you can. It's a fun track to drive. I love driving this racetrack.
Right now, Marty, it looks like the 20 car, fastest car on the racetrack.
Yeah, I tell you, BP, we were praising the crew earlier for all the work they'd done on it while you just rode on board with them. What do you think the car is? A little bit tight, Tony says. And they've had an extremely tight car for most of the day. They've started getting it better. Now he said just a little bit tight. Tony feeling more positive about the way this car is running right now.
Well, it sure looks good.
Down the front stretch, 187, 193. 203 miles per hour.
The championship leader.
So Weber, you talked about a tire rub that someone talked about. I don't see smoke.
Don't see anything now. But that could be because the air pressures are back up. While we ride with Jimmy, Sterling Marlin has made his way to 8th, Bobby Labonte to 10th, and Ken Schrader, who was 11th a few laps ago, is 14th. Those guys have made some nice moves. Here's Johnson, here's Dave.
And guys, they have told the driver, don't worry if that left front is rubbing just a little bit. It's rubbing on the top of the fender. It's been doing that all day. That's really okay. It's when your fender gets pinched in and there's a sharp point in the fender that's rubbing your tire. That's when they really worry.
The driver always worries, though, doesn't he? It's part of his job description.
No, not really. You let everybody else do the worrying.
So Johnson trying to march his way through the field. We will take you through the field.
Crash, trouble.
Got trouble in one.
Right in front of Jimmy Johnson. Looks like a left front tire.
Okay, now slow down, 11.
Jason Leffler.
Well, I think he's...
There's no caution yet. No caution. Now it just comes out now.
Caution down. Just stay up high. Stay up high.
He just takes care of this thing so it doesn't rip apart. He'll put a wheel on this thing and he'll dodge a bullet. But if that thing starts ripping apart...
You know, it's the tire is ripping apart. So far, the fender is staying intact.
Looks like the left rear is also flat on this car.
Right front.
Leffler was 20th last time by.
Yeah, left rear's up.
Michael Waltrip gets the lucky dog.
We knew he would.
Came back, got his tires.
I think that tire came... Well, I'm not going to talk too soon. There's chunks still blowing off it, but...
There goes a brake hose.
Yeah, brake hose.
Well, 92 laps are complete, BP.
Yep.
So we're looking, if you stop now, one more stop?
Oh, no. No, we'll have caution flags, 2 or 3 more caution flags.
Okay.
So, oh, yeah.
You know, but the history of this race is caution flags early, but not a lot late.
Never mind.
Okay.
History will be broken today.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, the tires changed that history today.
Jason has done
Look at the stuff still coming off it.
Start say he's done a good job getting the car back to pit road and keeping the left front fender on it, but he's not back yet.
Alan, strategy update.
Hey guys, just think subtracting the number of laps left in the race. Look for most people to take 4 tires here so that when they make their last pit stop, they can just take 2 and try and get out and get some track position.
Possible.
This would be the 7th caution.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, Bill. Yeah, maybe they stop now, change 4 tires, and just stop one more time. There'll be more caution flags, but they may stay out and get that track position. Good point.
Let's see what happens. Dave Burns.
Bobby Labonte started 36 today, now gives up 10th position. The car is pretty good. They're going to make just a slight air pressure adjustment on the green number 18 for Labonte. He's still getting to his pit. Here he comes. We'll see how this crew does. Let's go back up pit road further. Matt.
And Greg Biffle, who's never scored a top 5 here at the Brickyard. The car, he's on the bottom of your screen in the 16. His car tight most of the day, just could not turn. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment. Marty.
Casey Kane in that 9 car led for most of that run. The car a little bit tight. Tommy Baldwin said we're making an air pressure adjustment. Casey said just make sure it's small. 4 tires. Alan.
4 tire change for Elliott Sadler. Also made look like a track bar adjustment. And he is going to have to race Brian Vicker from pit road, and I think he got it.
Jimmy Johnson has the catch can attached to his car in that 48, so he'll have to come back. Looked like Casey Mears might have run into, there's the catch can.
Gordon, yep, there's.
Yeah, Mears ran into Gordon right here on pit road.
That's an accessory. That's not supposed to be there.
That's not original equipment.
That's not original equipment.
And you must have, all cars must have original equipment. Brian Vickers, 25, takes the lead.
Elliott Sadler, who has that outstanding pit stall at the exit of pit road. Under caution, you're watching NASCAR at the Brickyard on NBC.
You actually haven't hurt the balance too bad. You just got the left front side skirt, but I think that's where these left front flats are coming from, all right? So you let it build up from there. Yeah, what I got from this, I'm not really hurting the balance. At 10-4, but I think that's where left front flats are coming from here, so be careful. Drink some fluid. Pop that.
150,000 fans on a mostly sunny Sunday afternoon in August at the Brickyard for the Allstate 400. Take a look at our singular Race Talk poll.
Well, there you go, BP. You got your answer.
Yeah. I thought it'd be 75%. It was only 58% for Bristol.
He's pretty darn good there. But he's had success at the Glen in Michigan. And 3 second-place finishes here for Rusty Wallace, currently running 33rd on the track.
So those 6% that voted for Indy would be very unhappy now when they hear that he is 33rd.
Hey, 66 laps to go. You never know.
That's true.
Dale Jarrett's struggling today, isn't he?
Boy,
27th spot right now.
Today the story has been left front tires, and all those fellas have had that problem. Michael Waltrip, probably the best of the bunch, because he was able to salvage a left front fender on the racetrack in the lead lap.
And there's no pattern to really, whether it's 20 laps, 30 laps. We got some 10 laps, some 25 laps.
Field getting 1 to go. Dave Burns down on pit road.
Chad Knaus now in front of his pit box. Chad, you talked about a bounce back earlier this weekend for your team. It looks like you're going to have to do it again after that last mistake.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun, isn't it?
Yeah,
boy, I'll tell you what. We passed a lot of cars today, and, you know, it's unfortunate because the Lowe's Chevrolet's running better than it has ever run here. And Jimmy's doing a great job. The pit crew's doing a great job, and we just had some situations we had to try to overcome. But I've got the best driver, and I've got the best team out there, and we're going to do everything we can to get this thing in the top 10. That was our goal when we got here. If we do that, we'll walk out pretty proud.
Is that left front tire rub of any concern to you?
No, it's not that big a deal at all. It's in very, very flat on the tire. It's not hurting the fender tire or anything.
All right, that's Chad Knaus, championship leader, crew chief. Bill?
Thanks, Dave. Elliott Sadler started on the pole, currently runs 3rd. Had a 4-tire stop. Credited his crew back at the shop for getting him a great car, and Doug Yates for a great motor. How about the guys doing the good work on pit road? Here they are.
Todd Parrott, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Ryan McCrae, San Bernardino, California.
Mike Lingerfeld, Marietta, South Carolina.
Rodney Fetters, Niagara Falls, New York.
Lance Hanna, Weatherford, Texas.
Dave Smith, Millersville, Maryland.
Preston Cordell, Middleburg, Florida.
Frank Good, Wayne, New Jersey.
Andy Ward, Kannapolis, North Carolina.
The M&M's crew, the over-the-wall gang for Elliott Sadler. Here's the completion of their stop.
Oh, Mike Lingerfeld gets so excited.
They're into it, aren't they?
I'm telling you, they are in it.
Well, former series champion Terry Labonte, 2-time series champion, did not stop. And Terry Labonte.
Check that out. Average pit time today, 13.5 seconds, 4 tires and fuel. Well, he has changed 2 a couple times.
Labonte did not stop. He's the race leader, brings them down. Green flag is out at Indy. Got bunched up again.
Tony Stewart on the inside of Sadler. Looks like he's going to get the position.
Yes, he is. Wow. Casey Kane's going to take advantage of that.
Brian Vickers around his teammate for the lead.
Stewart
hooked up right now.
He is. I tell you what, this could be trouble for the competition, that 20 car. Elliott Sadler has lost 6, 7 positions. He got on the outside and just could not go.
It's traffic, right?
Traffic, and he got bottled up on that restart when Stewart got underneath him and he had to get on the outside. Everybody's running so close. If you have to lift, everybody's just going to freight train by you.
Well, Labonte wanted some track position, so he stayed out, but he's sliding back in a hurry. And I'm telling you, there is a pack, and there it is. And there's another one behind them. That's Martin in the 6.
Jeff Burton in 31. Whoa, somebody's sideways right there.
Scott Riggs in the 10 car, looked to me like.
They make it through this turn. Kurt Busch in the 97, Jeff Gordon in the 24. Jamie McMurray in the 42 inside of Gordon.
Boy, he's got to run. There's nothing Gordon can do except let him have it.
And Carl Edwards.
Where'd he come from?
this season. How about Carl, Dave?
Well, remember last night at the Indianapolis Raceway Park, it was reported that he wasn't feeling well. He is perfectly healthy today, just had a little food issue during the rain delay there. Feels great. The car is finally coming to him. Just a little bit tight right now. They adjusted for that last time.
Thank you, Dave. Tony Stewart, 20. Closing on the 25 of Vickers.
Oh, man. This thing is shaping up to be something between, if you get Tony Stewart, Casey Kane battling for the win at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway,
it could get ugly.
It could get ugly.
But it could be fun to watch.
It could. I can't wait.
You want to know something else that's going to be fun to watch? The 20 gets around that 25 car. Because you can watch 250,000 people stand up. Vickers leads that lap. Marty?
And Bill, this is where Tony Stewart's been so good, the beginning part of the run. They're following on the most part of the day. Their problem for most of the day is how they've been at the end of the run. They still get tight, but Tony said it's not as bad as it was early in the day, and they're very fast in this part of the run.
Vickers slammed the door that time, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And, well, here Stewart's going to take another look, but I think Stewart, once he gets by, if he gets by, his car looks like it's faster. It'll definitely be faster in clean air.
In turn 4, Tony Stewart. Vickers has to let it go. Tony Stewart comes out of 4 and will come to the line. He will lead lap 100 at Indianapolis.
And man, the grandstands look like an Earnhardt took the lead at Charlotte.
You can hear him. And he probably can too. You can certainly see him. Grew up 50 miles from here. Thought he'd be an open wheel racer. Have a shot at the Indy 500. Tried it, never worked out. This race would mean so much to him. He has come so far.
And you can see how fast he is in just a half lap. He pulled 5 or 6 car lengths away from the 25 car.
And now, Wally, the 25 of Vickers is going to hold up these other guys. They need to get by him. Kane and company need to get by Vickers as quickly as they can.
They really do. Tony's car is good in clean air, which I thought it would be, and he is going to drive away from these guys. So you're right. Casey Kane and Jeremy Mayfield and those 2 Dodges right behind Vickers, they've got to get around them as fast as possible so they can try to make a run at Stewart.
Tony Stewart into 1. Now watch as he goes through this chute and then heads for turn 2. That is his sweep outside of turn 2 at Indianapolis. Here he comes by as the leader.
Yeah, that's a great spot.
Yeah.
It looks like that Casey Kane, now once he's caught up to the 25, this arrow push is really affecting the 9 car.
These 2 cars are teammates. Sorry, Wally.
I was just going to say, and I don't think it's affecting the 19 as much as it may be the 9, because the 19, Mayfield can run right behind Casey Kane. But you're right, PP. Casey Kane, when he gets up on another car, looks like his car starts washing out.
Vickers' car looks like it might be a little bit better now, too, after running a few more laps.
Tony Stewart, lap before last, ran his fastest lap of the day for him.
Boris said, the veteran road racer, off the pace, Matt.
Something amiss in the engine compartment for the 36 of Boris said. He's raced at a lot of historic racetracks, Spa, Nürburgring, Daytona, Sebring. Not a good run today. Also a possible issue for the 3rd man in our championship standings, Greg Biffle, the 16 car. Says he has a soft tire, not exactly sure which one yet. The guardsman up on the wall waiting to see if the Biff brings the car to pit road.
You'll be seeing a lot of that 36 car next weekend. Up front.
Watkins Glen on the road course.
Yeah, of course, he's going to be pretty fast there.
Jeremy Mayfield trying to get underneath his teammate Casey Kane to take the spot.
Just quite couldn't pull it off right there, but I still think Jeremy's car, again, if he got past these 2 cars, I think he would be really fast.
Ooh. Was Kane a little loose there?
Yep, he was.
Tony Stewart is 1/2 second a lap faster than these cars.
Snyder.
Hey, Bill, you talked, actually, Wally was talking about how Casey Kane is really having that aero push problem. You're right on. That's the biggest problem, Tommy Baldwin told me, with their race car. And the 19 doesn't have the problem as bad. Water temperature is a concern for the 19. They pulled some tape off in the last pit stop as he continues trying to pass his teammate. Alan?
And we've been talking about Brian Vickers and how he fell back a little bit and then has seemed to pick up the pace. Don't forget, on that last pit stop, his crew chief Lance McGrew chose to change just the right side tires. Now, this is one of those technical things, and I won't go on about it, but air pressure. Wally and Benny, there was a difference in the left side air pressure versus the right side air pressure, and it takes a couple laps to work that out.
It looks like, to me, it looks like Vickers' car's a little bit loose, and if somebody gets to the back of Vickers, he almost has to let him go, because when you get somebody on your bumper, if you have a loose race car, it makes that car even more loose. And I noticed that with Stewart. When Stewart got behind him, it was like Vickers just said, hey, go. So here you see Jeremy Mayfield closing the door. If he can get on his bumper, I bet you Vickers won't fight it too hard, because his car's already loose.
Meanwhile, Tony Stewart continues to pull away in that Home Depot Chevy. A popular choice here at Indianapolis, the face of a champion. Can he add the Brickyard title to his list of accomplishments? We'll find out.
The Allstate 400 at the Brickyard is brought to you by Miller. There's good enough, and there's better than it has to be. Miller, good call. By Wrangler, makers of Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans. By Chevy, the winningest name in racing, an American revolution. By Ballpark Franks, be big, be meaty, be frank. And by Allstate, proud sponsor of the Allstate 400 at the Brickyard.
108 laps complete at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Tony Stewart around to complete 109 as the race leader.
Now that Mayfield got by, though, he's running laps just as quick, if not exact. Look at that. Last time by, BP.
Same exact speed as Tony Stewart, but he's 3.7 seconds behind Tony Stewart.
We'll watch the leader. We'll take you through the field, starting with Marty Snyder.
Tony Stewart in the lead at Indianapolis, exactly where he wants to be in a couple of laps. In fact, at the end of the race when the checkered flag falls. And what would happen if Tony Stewart won this Brickyard 400?
I've always said if we ever win a race at Indy, the party is going to be out of this world.
And that's probably true, and probably right at this racetrack in the suite in turn 2. When he took the lead, he said, how about that, guys? And Greg Zippodelli responded, yeah, you just take care of that right front, buddy. That's all you need to worry about. Jeremy Mayfield, though, running the same exact lap times. We've talked about it. He's the 8th place man in championship, and he's only in by 31 points in the chase for the Nextel Cup. The car a little bit tight. Alan?
Brian Vickers is running in 3rd position. He's been among the top 5 cars about this whole race, except during a cycle of pit stops. His crew changing 2 tires on their lap 92 stop, and crew chief Lance McGrew says they can make it to the finish on just 1 more stop. Kyle Busch, another outstanding day. He's running in 4th position, another one of those Hendrick Motorsports entries. Reporting right now his car handling very good, and if you track the timing and scoring, he appears to be one of the faster cars on the track, Marty.
Alan Casey Kane has now fallen back to the 5th position after running 3rd just a moment ago. He just radioed to the crew, said, I think I might have a right rear tire going down. The car getting tighter for Casey Kane. Alan?
Well, Elliott Sadler got shuffled back to 6th position, reporting that his car in traffic doesn't want to turn like he needs it to. Then he said, sorry, guys. They've got time to get it straightened out and get him up front. Dave?
Bobby Labonte drives his Pocono car that finished 8th. Remember, he started 36, worked his way up now into the top 10, running 7th. Bobby having just a little bit of a tight race car. They adjusted for that last time and hoping it'll come back. Marty?
Not a word on the radio from Matt Kenseth. They've had a very good car today. It's been 53 races since Matt last won, and it was with this race car at Las Vegas last year. Car's been just a little bit tight. Alan?
What a nice day for Mike Bliss driving the Zero car. He is running now in 9th position. Team got their first top 10 finish of the season last Sunday at Pocono. His crew chief Booty Barker says, we've got a good car, we've got a good team. You're going to see a lot more of this in the weeks to come, Dave.
Casey Mears has gotten some track position back. That was the result of a 2-tire stop the last time he was in. They made a little bit of an air pressure adjustment because his car wanted to push out toward the wall. Matt?
Mark Martin, who qualified 10th, just lost the 10th position. Now he says, I like the feel of these 4 tires. Give me another wedge adjustment. I think we're really going to be solid from that point on, Alan.
How about this nice recovery for Jeff Gordon? Remember that back on lap number 74, they made that long pit stop to put a spring rubber into the right rear spring on the car. It dropped him back to 29th place at the time. Gordon chipping him off one at a time. He's back up to 12th place, Matt.
Now Greg Biffle continues to fade. He just told his crew chief, Doug Richard, there you see him in the 16 car. This car is so loose, I can barely hold on to it. They should pit about another 18 to 20 laps. Meanwhile, as we go further on down the line, Scott Riggs in the 10 car. A solid run. Started out the year with a top 5 at Daytona. Trying to score a solid finish with his future still uncertain here in the 10 car. Meanwhile, Kevin Harvick trying to rebound from issues down with the curbing in turn 1. Had the pit road penalty. Trying to work his way back through traffic. Hasn't said a whole lot about the handling of that car, Dave.
Reigning Nextel Cup champion Kurt Busch is having trouble with that right front of the car. I just checked with his crew chief, Jimmy Fennig. I said, is the right front any better? He said, no. I said, it's still in a bad situation. He said, yes, and they don't know what to do about it. Matt?
McMurray almost won this race 2 years ago. Currently, he runs in the 17th position, telling Donnie Wingo, his crew chief, I'm chattering the front tires. Did we get all the lugs tight? They told him they did. The car, the balance, not what he needs. Marty.
Man, it's been a pretty decent day for Sterling Marlin, currently running in the 18th position. The car has been tight for most of the afternoon, but on the last stop, Sterling said the car was pretty good. They made no changes on that stop. Alan?
Well, Ken Schrader started in the 11th position, but on the first pit stop back at lap 23, reported a clutch problem. They made a couple of subsequent pit stops on a couple of subsequent cautions, never went to the garage, but fell all the way to the back of the field. They made about half of it back up, Matt.
Rounding out the top 20, the 31 car, Jeff Burton, says the car is not as good as it was. He was running lap times within a tenth of the leaders, but now he says it just will not turn, and it's losing grip, Dave.
Jimmy Johnson now challenging for that 20th position on the inside as he restarted 35th. Made up a lot of positions, has not said anything on the radio. Very workmanlike for the championship leader. Matt?
Two-time Brickyard 400 winner Dale Jarrett not having the day his teammate Elliott Sadler is, who's running in 6th. Jarrett outside the top 20 and 22nd. The car is tight on exit, just will not turn. He can't get back in the gas, guys, when he needs to.
Thank you, gentlemen. Jeff Green runs 23rd. Then it's Carl Edwards and Joe Nemechek. Michael Waltrip has worked his way up to 26th after having the tire issue, then got the lucky dog and moved his way up to 26th. We are getting a report from pit road. Sprinkles in the area. Rained here on Friday, but we've got 45 to go. Hopefully we'll get him in without any rain. Tony Stewart wants to get them all in, wants to stay right where he is, out in front at Indy.
Caution is out.
Bobby Labonte has brought out the caution here at the Brickyard.
This is the right front tire problem on the 18 car. He's lost the air pressure in the tire, which causes the car to go straight in the wall.
Yeah.
And he will go straight to the garage. Dave?
And the sad note from Bobby Labonte, I'm going to the garage. It's over. After he was running top 10, guys, again, for a team that has not run well this year, to have a great finish at Pocono 2 weeks ago, and then to come here and run in the top 10 again, and now this.
Former winner of the Brickyard 400. See what we can see. It's already over. Just like the day.
Looks like it happened going in turn 3.
That's his crew on pit road.
Because they know when you make contact with the right front, and the right front tire loses the air pressure, it's going to be hard contact on the outside wall.
So Bobby Labonte to the garage.
Well, Tony Stewart did not want to see another caution flag.
No.
He got a 4-second lead.
And everybody else did.
Yeah,
Want to see a caution.
Well, we've got 38 cars on the lead lap, though. Be coming to pit road. It's going to be very congested. Again, a very tight pit road here at the Brickyard. Tony Stewart leads him toward pit road, and we send you to Dave Burns.
And they corrected the handling problems on Casey Mears' car last time, but remember, they did take 2 tires. This will put them back in the rotation with the rest of the leaders. They will take 4. They will make no chassis adjustments on Casey's car this time. Fuel man goes to the rear. Guy's going to work on the tires. Windshield tear-off so Casey can see. Matt.
Mark Martin pitting in the second section on pit road on the bottom of your screen. He mentioned earlier a possible wedge adjustment, then they called it off. No changes for the 6, just some hydration for the driver, Marty.
Tony Stewart was terrific in that clean air, Matt, leading up front. They talked about an air pressure adjustment. Tony said, I don't want any changes to this car. Zippy said, you're the man driving it. That sounds fine to me. Alan?
No adjustments called for Brian Vickers' car. They're going to make a 4-tire change and send him back out, hoping to gain a little track position with a fast stop.
The 20 crew gets Stewart out. And there's some congestion.
There's contact.
Yep, that was Greg Biffle and Schrader in the middle, and Jeff Gordon on the inside.
So we'll take a look at the race off of pit road when we come back to the Brickyard. Go back to the commercial break. We're under caution at Indy.
Best you can on your fuel smoke. Everybody's going to be real close. I don't think anybody can make it from here, but just so you know, if you get some raindrops there, we might be able to. Copy. Copy, and your fuel for me.
Still under caution here at Indianapolis. We talked about possible trouble on pit road. Watch these cars.
Yeah, these guys are coming out. You got Biffle there, and then you've got Ken Schrader pulling out, Jeff Gordon, and they just run out of room. And Biffle's going to have a toe problem now because he hit the wall pretty hard.
On board with Biffle coming down pit road.
He's coming. Watch right ahead of you. Just got the door, I think, but
That's
I don't know who that was.
pretty hard shot on your right front.
And now live, Biffle's crew working on his car on pit road. A contender for the Nextel Cup Championship. Greg Biffle, problems on pit road here at Indy.
To go, 40 to go when you come back around. Copy. Oh, yeah. Car's off. It's all yours. When you talk.
Green flag in the air at the Brickyard.
You know what's helping these guys a lot right now? BP 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. There's no cars a lap down.
No cars to the inside because if they're a fourth place car, they're starting fourth instead of eighth.
of the cars took 4 tires. Jimmy Johnson, the championship leader, restarted 7th after a 2-tire stop. Tony Stewart leads, Jeremy Mayfield second, then Brian Vickers and Matt Kenseth. There's Johnson in the 48 on the outside of Mark Martin.
Being passed by Mark Martin. Here comes Jeff Gordon. Contact between Gordon and Zero on Mike Bliss.
And we saw that earlier this season.
That was Chicago all over again,
sir.
wasn't it?
Boy, and Jeff Gordon in that 24 leaned.
I might have a right front going down.
I was going to say, he leaned on that right front pretty hard.
He's got some damage to that fender, and we know that that hurts the handling capabilities of these cars dramatically.
Greg Biffle involved in that collision on pit road, restarted 34th.
Yeah, Gordon's going to have some problems here with the front of that car, the way it's damaged.
And look at these guys closing in on Stewart. You've been liking Mayfield's car.
I have. I mean, you know, Tony's got a strong car, but Jeremy's car looks the best in traffic. And then once he gets out of traffic, he was as fast or faster than Stewart. So those 2 cars right there are definitely the strongest cars in the race right now.
And right now, the 25 car, Vickers hanging with these 2 front cars. Great battle for the first 3 spots.
I'll tell you, the next 3 cars are coming too. Kenseth, Kane, and Sadler.
Kane looking on the inside of Kenseth. Kane in 9, Kenseth in 17, and here to the 9.
Tony Stewart, trouble.
Scott Riggs, the 10 car, round he goes.
A lot of guys behind him.
Oh, man, that was close.
Caution is out. Riggs rolls away. There are 15 scoring loops around this track. The scoring will revert to the previously passed loop.
Sure looks like contact from the rear on that one.
Yeah. I did my guess, but they were in a big pack.
Forgot I was on the outside of him.
Someone forgot he was on the outside of him, he said.
Yeah. This could be a huge break for the 24.
Yeah, because they're going to have to come down and get that fender fixed.
Tony Stewart is the race leader. Once the caution comes out, the teams stop racing. See if we can see what happened here.
I guess Kurt Busch is, I don't know. Kurt Busch, the 97 car, was around the 10. I don't know if he was the one that Scott was talking about was underneath him or not.
Let's take a look from Harvick's car, see what he saw. Looks like the 97 ran up into him.
You think?
Looked like the 97
That's the way I saw it.
Yeah.
Looked like the 97 got loose, and when he corrected, just ran up right in the side of the 10 car.
And these guys back here behind him.
They did a good
nice
job.
Work. Well, that's disappointing for Riggs. He's got rallies on that car for a handful of races here. Second half of the season. Now let's go back and look at Jeff Gordon and Mike Bliss.
Going down to turn 1. Jeff Gordon trying to get alongside, and
there wasn't really a whole lot of room down there.
Boy, Jeff did a fantastic job to save that car. That was at about 200 miles per hour when all that started.
So that was a few moments ago. Here's a few weeks ago. Chicagoland Speedway, Joliet, Illinois. Bliss in the 0. Gordon in the 24.
Kind of the same thing. There wasn't really enough room down there.
Jeff Gordon was very unhappy about that. So the caution out, 9th caution of the day. Leaders stay out. We'll take a break and bring you back to the Brickyard. Gordon will pit. And since Jeff Gordon is going to come down pit road, let's stay right here and see what his team does. Saw a few cars additionally diving onto pit road at the last moment, trying to make the commitment line. So Gordon, a 4-time winner at of this race.
They'll be working on the fender. I mean, that's what they're going to do. They may even change right side tires just to make sure that right front wasn't cut.
Well, Gordon was running 15th. Matt.
DJ, who's been hovering around the 20th position most of the afternoon on pit road, trying to fix the balance of this race car even more, Alan.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon, after initially the radio call that you heard saying, be ready, I might have a tire going down, came back later, said the tires are fine, I'm concerned about the fender. Robbie Loomis decided to call him in here, pull that fender out, make sure it wasn't a problem. There it is being done right now. And they'll take 4 tires and send him out.
Here's an interesting point. These guys stopping now, Benny.
I think some of them might make it the rest of the way if we don't see another caution flag.
It could be very interesting to see how this plays out. Under caution at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You're watching NASCAR on NBC.
Yeah, I'm lugging her the best I can, bud.
Still under caution here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Tony Stewart leads, followed by Jeremy Mayfield, Brian Vickers, Casey Kane, and Matt Kenseth. Here's our Miller race fact. The eventual Cup Series champion has won at Indianapolis 4 times, including 2 by Jeff Gordon. And he's got some work to do if he's going to win today.
Yes, he does.
Let's check along pit road with Marty.
Well, Greg Zipadelli anxiously awaits the last 35 laps of the Brickyard 400, and you guys have done a terrific job of putting smoke in contention. Talk about chassis-wise where the car is right now.
Yeah, we started real tight today. We thought the sun was going to be out and it was going to be pretty slick, so we were real aggressive on our first 2 or 3 stops. A couple rubbers in the right rear, 3-4 pounds in the right rear, and he's done a great job. He's been real smart, real smooth. He's worked his way to the front, so we're about 1 or 2 laps short on fuel right now, so we'll keep our fingers crossed.
I was going to ask you, how worried are you about that? Because you have been preaching conserve fuel, conserve fuel.
Yeah, we'll do all we can here. We needed 1 more or 2 more caution laps, but we'll see if we can get a lead. Maybe we can save some fuel. We'll see if the good Lord's got this in store for us.
Looking for some more caution flag laps in the 20 pit. Alan?
And this is Lance McGrew, who is Brian Vickers' crew chief, watching his driver sit third. You pitted with 43 laps to go. First, can you make it to the finish on the gasoline you got on board?
On what we have on board, it's questionable, but it hadn't historically. Today it hadn't gone green for very long, so we're counting on a couple more caution laps to put us over the edge.
And so that leads to the next question. If you get those couple more caution flag laps, are we going to see you on pit road again before the checkered flag?
I probably doubt it. I doubt we'll come back down pit road. It's kind of a gamble for us, but you only win this race very few times or have opportunity to win it. We've had a car good enough to win it today, and if we have to roll the dice to do it, we'll do it.
All right, Lance, thanks. Good luck. Lance McGrew, crew chief for Brian Vickers. Matt?
Here in the 6th pit, Pat Trison, you've worked on your car's handling all day, but the bigger question, where do you stand on fuel?
The Viger force toward force has been good all day. Right now we're a little bit short on fuel right now, but we'll see how it goes. It's a long way to go still, so we'll just have to see how everything falls.
Mark just said on the radio, Pat, I really do like the way this car handles on 4 tires, Dave.
With Jimmy Fenny now crew chief for Kurt Busch. Looks like that contact with the 10 was a little indicative of how this car is handling today.
Yeah, we've been struggling all day, and we just pushed right into him. Kurt felt bad about it, and I feel bad for the 10 guys, but we're going to keep working on it, see if we can make it to the end.
The 97 has been talking very close on fuel as well.
Green flag with 33 to go. Some guys will be able to make it, and some guys will not.
Stewart gets good restarts. Well, we know Greg Zipadelli said the 20 car is going to have to stop again.
Unless they stay out for a number of caution flag laps. We've run 23 laps, 14 laps, 2 laps, 8 laps, 1 lap, 6 laps, 13 laps, 20 laps, and 3 laps. Here comes the 9.
Casey Kane underneath Vickers takes a spot. But when you're in Stewart's position, you ain't going to conserve fuel.
You can't.
I mean, you got the field behind you, so you got to go.
So how many laps have we run this last since Tony Stewart stopped?
Tony Stewart's basically, I'll double check the math.
Uh-oh, math. So we got Stewart opening up that lead. What are they saying, Marty, about the 19? Because Mayfield looks like he's got a strong car.
He has an outstanding car, Wally. They've had a terrific day, but the problem is they too short on fuel. About 1.5 laps, Slugger Labby told me, so they need some caution laps just like the 20 car.
Oh, almost contact between teammates. 9 and 19, but Jeremy goes up the hill. Lets Casey Kane take over that 2nd spot.
The answer to your question, BP, is 3, the last 3-lap segment of green flag laps.
Green flag laps, plus the caution flag.
Yes. So that's roughly a total of 12.
Vickers and the 25 car, that green car that you can't miss, trying to take the spot from Mayfield too.
Suddenly his car doesn't look as good as it has.
And that's what happened to Casey Kane the last time they had a restart.
Elliott Sadler trying to get on the inside of the 17 of Matt Kenseth. Can't quite make it. That was Sadler in 38.
Oh, man, that is coming close. Mayfield may lose a spot here. Couldn't get the car turned down, so he had to get out of the gas. He lost that momentum.
Got back in behind Vickers, though. Battle for 2nd. You see Kane chasing down Stewart.
Trying to chase down. And guess what? The last lap, Casey Kane was faster than Tony Stewart. He is chasing him down. 4/10 of a second faster.
Just that battle you guys were looking for earlier coming up? Stewart's car is using a little bit more racetrack than he was earlier, which means his car is sliding a little bit more than Casey Kane's car. Means Casey Kane's car's hooked up a little bit better.
Richmond back in May, it was Casey Kane winning in the 9 car. Tony Stewart finishing 2nd.
And Tony Stewart couldn't have been happier for Casey.
He wouldn't be happy for him today, I don't believe. Not at this racetrack.
He's not happy to even see him in the mirror right now.
Their relationship wasn't always sparkling. They have mended fences.
That's what you call making your car wide. That's what Stewart's doing right now.
Boy, Kane is right there. Marty?
Casey trying to get the lead. He came on the radio. They've been tied afternoon long. He said, you know what, guys? We finally have it loosened up. And Tommy Baldwin said, I can see that.
Last lap, Kasey Kahne ran his fastest lap of the day.
But 2 laps before that, Tony ran his fastest of the day.
He did, yes.
Track's cooling off a little bit.
And we're getting closer to the end at Indianapolis.
Exactly. Boy, Kane's car looks good right there.
And Tony is not saving any fuel now. If you get to a point, if you're Kasey Kahne, you know you're faster than him. You just got to...
You got to go.
You got to
get right now. I mean, you've got 28 laps left. You know your car's good now. If you get by him, you may be able to drive away from him. So that's what you want to do while your car's still good or better than Tony's. You want to get it done now. But Tony's not making that real easy on Kahne.
No, sir. Down the front stretch at Indy, the Fan Canyon. Marty?
You guys notice Tony Stewart is ducking out to break Kasey Kahne's draft coming down the front stretch. That's what he's trying to do, trying to slow Kasey down a little bit. Ray Aronham on the radio told Kasey, listen, there are a lot of laps left. Be calm, be patient. We have a great car.
Ray Abraham is car owner, former crew chief for Jeff Gordon. Now Kasey Kahne tries to make the move and can't do it there.
Like I said earlier, there is a draft that you use here. These straightaways are so long that the draft does come into play. Ooh, this may be it.
Kasey Kahne on the inside. Kasey Kahne takes the lead coming out of 4 at Indianapolis.
Now we'll see if he can drive away from Stewart. Now when you're in Stewart's seat right now you're pushing the button a little bit harder. You're driving a little bit harder. You got 25 laps to go. You're in second. Had a good car. Gripping that steering wheel a lot harder than you were 5 laps ago.
So Kasey Kahne has gotten around Tony Stewart to the lead at Indianapolis. 134 of 160 laps complete at the Brickyard.
Just a little free here. It should come to us as we go, bud.
68, 10-4, good lap. On that fuel for me.
flag racing at the Brickyard. Casey Kane continues to lead, starting to pull away from Tony Stewart. Here are our Harley-Davidson lap leaders. Elliott Sadler started on the pole. Stewart led 33 laps, and Kane, who leads now, has led 28. We have one green flag commercial break to get in. We're going to do that now and come back and take you to the checkered flag for the last 20 laps. They're cheering in Casey Kane's pit at the Brickyard.
Make it.
.141 laps complete. Casey Kane, the race leader, coming around to complete lap 142. Tony Stewart trying to close in.
Tony Stewart is only 1/3 of a second behind Casey Kane.
12th running of the Allstate 400 at the Brickyard. And you know, if that Casey Kane goes to victory lane, our buddy Mike Arnold from St. Louis wins $400,000.
You know, if this thing stays green, though, we may be looking deeper into the field for our winner. And he's won this race a few times before.
Fuel is definitely an issue.
24 car. Took some fuel.
Yep.
He's good to go, but Marnie, I don't think the leader's got enough.
He keeps getting reminders, conserve fuel when you can. I asked Tommy Baldwin, how close are you on fuel? He said, close enough. I said, do you need a caution? He said, yes.
Oh, Tony's looking on the inside. And Casey, he moved him up.
Yep, he's going to get underneath him
Here
here.
he comes.
Oh, there's no room there.
Oh, that was close.
Stewart back out there?
Yeah, definitely. Casey came down, slammed the door on him a little bit, which he should be doing. Yeah, I mean, Tony was blocking earlier, so like I said, man, this is it's a big race. Indianapolis.
Stretch.
Vicker's hanging in third spot there.
16 to go.
Vickers in third is about 3 seconds behind these. Oh, trouble!
Championship leader. Jimmy Johnson has tagged the wall. That'll bring out the caution.
More than tag the wall, perhaps.
Yes, sir. Blew up here, finished 36th a year ago.
He's knocked the fuel pump off the car and has some fire under it. I hope they're looking under the car. There you go.
Yeah, there's a fire underneath the hood.
Trying to get the hood pins out so they can raise the hood. It's probably a little warm. Burns?
Guys, they told Jimmy, lean in the window. Chad Knaus ran out on the pit lane, pulled the window net down, and yelled at Jimmy, get out. The car is on fire underneath. He went to the aid of his driver and now has Jimmy on the pit lane wall.
Scary moment for Jimmy Johnson. The team has had a tough weekend. Failed to make a qualifying attempt here yesterday when they couldn't get their car through inspection. Came in as the championship leader, but their day will end early. Johnson looks to be okay, just very frustrated. He takes a seat on the pit wall. That's Chad Knaus, his crew chief. Chad clearly wants a moment for his driver to regain his composure and catch his breath. And some of the track medical attendants talking to Jimmy.
I think Jimmy's hot. I probably, as much as anything, he's just so frustrated.
Very disappointed.
Yes. Now what's going to happen? Marty?
The 9 car will stay out of Casey Kane. A lot of debate on the 20 car radio. Tony Stewart said, I think maybe pitting here is a good idea. If we don't pit, we'll be sitting ducks. Greg Zipadelli said, I think we should stay out. Tony said, it's your call. I'm too nervous to make the call. Zippy said, stay out. We need the track position.
I think that's a good call.
If they've got enough fuel to make it to the end, I mean, if it's... Who's going to pit? Elliott Sadler? Tony Stewart. Tony's coming down. No, a fake.
You fell for it.
I fell for it.
Didn't he?
He got me hook, line, and sinker. No, I think that's how bad he wanted to come down and get some fuel.
Well, a bunch of guys behind these leaders are coming down pit road.
He's just got a lot of cars to pass to get to that lead.
Very difficult because those cars are going to be pretty wide when we go back to green flag racing.
Yep.
Obviously, you get more fuel under the caution, running caution laps, than you do under green.
They normally counted about 2 laps of caution flags equal 1 lap of green flag racing.
And this is where you can save fuel under yellow.
Yeah.
Just stay off that gas pedal as much as possible.
Marty?
Well, let's talk to Tommy Baldwin, crew chief for Casey Kane. First things first, does this get you good for fuel to the end?
It puts us close. I'm not sure. I'm not going to say, but yeah, I'm real proud of everybody at Abraham Motorsports. This Dodge Charge has been on rails all day. Great weekend. We worked real hard all week getting this thing prepared. It's a brand new car and a brand new EMS car. Everyone's doing a good job. It just probably about 12 laps to go and take green. 11, 12 laps to go. I don't know. It'll be close. You have to gamble on it. We're in a position with 21st in points, and I don't know. We'll take our shot.
Tony has been putting a lot of pressure on him, though.
Yeah, we've just been saving fuel. We'll be all right.
All right, the poker face from Tommy Baldwin.
Oh, very good. Now let's see if we can see what happened to Johnson. Watch the top of your screen, top right-hand side.
We're pretty sure what happened.
Tire?
Yeah.
Tire goes flat. You never see the
this will give us a good indication. When a car stops turning like that and shoots up the racetrack, that's a tire going down.
So Jimmy limped to pit road, and there's Chad Knaus, the crew chief, who is a hands-on kind of guy. In the window, a lot of safety equipment inside of these cars, very difficult to get in and out of the seat. The crew trying to put out the fire, the crew chief making sure his driver is okay. Dave Burns.
I asked Jimmy if he wanted to tell everyone that he's okay. I'm glad you said yes, because they want to know.
Yeah, I'm fine. Man, that was hard. That's by far the hardest hit I think I've taken. Just blew it right from a tire, and the way I went at first, so thank God for the soft walls and the launch device and everything, so I'm okay. I'll be scratching my head for the next day or two, though.
You did not realize it was on fire when Chad came through the window, did you?
No, I don't really remember coming from turn 4 to the pits. I just kind of remember waking up in pit road and guys were pulling me out of the car, so it's all good.
One of those guys we know was Chad Knaus, his crew chief. Chad's been talking with Jimmy. The EMTs have been attending to Jimmy as well, and that was a hard lick, guys.
That tells you how hard and how fast they go here at Indianapolis.
And we see the points now as they run. Jimmy is now 54 back.
Came in as the leader, 66 ahead. Here's a look at 11 through 20. Again, the guys within 400 points of the championship leader make the chase for the Nextel Cup. Right now, not a factor because the top 10 guys would be in. Okay, let's check on the Tony Stewart story, Marty.
And Tony conversing with crew chief Greg Zippadelli right now, and well, they are good on fuel now. Let's confirm that with Zippy. You okay on fuel now?
Yeah, we were good before this caution. I mean, we should have gone 160 and a quarter, especially running second. Our fuel mileage is a little bit better, so we'll just keep our fingers crossed. Home Depot Chevrolet's been pretty good all day. It's been a fight, but part of this team there, they've done a great job.
Been a fun race to watch. Can he get past the 9?
You know, 9 car's been pretty good. He had that one set of tires. I think the last one, or they must have made an adjustment or something that he wasn't as good. He's been really strong all day. I think we're kind of equal cars right now, so it'll be a matter of who was running harder there, and we really don't know who showed their hand, so we'll see. You know, it's kind of like going to Vegas there.
And remember, Tony has been very good on these restarts. He may take advantage of this opportunity trying to pass Casey Kane.
On board with Tony. There is his suite outside of turn 2 here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Again, he grew up in Columbus, Indiana, about 50 miles from this track. And there has been some speculation that if Tony wins and does some fence climbing, it's the fence right in front of that suite that he will climb to celebrate.
Well, you play poker with both of these guys, BP. Who's better poker player?
Tony's pretty good. Tony is really good.
You know, restart's going to be, sorry, Bill,
That's
restart's
okay.
going to be probably his best shot, Tony Stewart's best shot. If he can get a good restart and get right behind Casey Kane, try to get him a little bit loose in 1 and 2 and dive underneath him, that's going to be one of his best opportunities.
Didn't Jeff Gordon cut a tire at Texas and say that was the hardest hit that he's ever had prior to the safer barriers? Because I remember that onboard camera shot.
I've hit the ball so many times I can't remember.
Well, you could just clearly see.
That turn 4 at Texas?
No, I was on the front stretch. He cut one on the front stretch and put it right into the wall in the trial. Yeah. Very fast cars and the safer barriers.
Those Hans devices, let me tell you something, they work.
Yeah.
You can feel them work when you hit the wall that hard.
All right, the lights are out on the pace vehicle.
Top 11 before the caution did not pit.
Can't forget some of these other guys back here either. Vicker's running good. Mayfield's back there.
Kenseth and Sadler was strong early. Marty?
Greg Zippadelli to Tony Stewart just a moment ago. Be smart, make me proud here.
Well, we've seen some contact on restarts here at the Brickyard, including earlier today.
Yeah, a few laps ago, we saw Tony Stewart in the 20 car cut the 9 a little slack when we went down the corner. The 9 car kind of came down. You get 2 laps to go, and there will be no more of that.
Like I said, I think Tony's just got to be right on his bumper right here on this restart.
Some drivers will tell you there is no bigger race on the Nextel Cup circuit than this one. The 2.5 miles at the Brickyard.
Great.
Here we go.
Casey got a good start.
11 laps to go.
But Tony, well, he laid back and got that run between 1 and 2.
Kane trying to hold him off, can't do it. Side by side in front of his sweep. They sweep into 2 and onto the backstretch. Tony Stewart takes the lead at Indy.
That was his opportunity.
Vickers trying to close in that green 25. Kane runs second.
Ooh, Elliott Sadler up high out of the groove. He's got something wrong. Dropping back.
Got a flat tire on the 38 car.
Was the pole sitter.
And he couldn't get to pit lane. Hopefully that thing won't come apart.
On the left-hand side of your screen in that M&M's car, Elliott Sadler, the pole sitter, with a tire going down.
Oh, what a bummer. Yeah, Stewart's going to make that car very difficult to pass right now for the next 10 laps.
Hey, what? Kane is not bad.
No.
This car, this 9 car, is fast.
And I think it gets better if he gets a couple of laps underneath them. Stewart sweeps to the inside.
You have to be careful. You don't want to pick up too much of that dirt and loose rubber on those tires. Your car will really slide if you do that.
Or maybe some metal down there that's fallen off one of these cars, these wrecked cars.
Stewart leading with under 10 to go at the Brickyard. A place he grew up dreaming about winning.
Boy, that looks good right there. Ooh, 9 cars taking a look. Casey Kane. Car looks like it's working on the bottom. Pretty good, Benny.
Sure does.
Now he knows how he passed him earlier, right? Sadler made it to pit road.
Finally.
Falling all the way back to 33rd.
Got to be careful too when you're weaving down the straightaway. You don't want to ruin your entry to the corner because your entries are so important here at the Brickyard. So don't want to follow Tony's too much. So you stayed out that time. Don't want to ruin your entry.
You want to run your line, not his.
Run your line, because if you run his line, it may mess you up enough to where he'll get away just a little bit.
And he might be trying to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what he's trying to do. Okay to do that right here, but you want to make sure you get back up high quick enough where it doesn't mess you up getting in.
7 to go.
You want to be up wide, just at the edge of the gray part of the racetrack to make that entry into turn 1. Otherwise, you just plow off this corner.
Stewart has had an amazing season. One at Sonoma, then one at Daytona on the 4th of July weekend. That's where his fence climbing skills first came into view.
And these 2 cars are slowly pulling away from the 3rd place car of Vickers.
It's about as hard as you can drive a race car right there, I imagine. 6 to go.
It looks like that Tony is starting to put just a little distance on Casey Kane in the 9.
Last 2 laps, he's been 0.2 of a second faster than Casey Kane.
on the apron. Smoking, but not a factor. Out on the track.
At this point, with 5 to go, Stewart would practically be impossible to get by if Kasey Kahne could even get to him.
All right, Kasey Kahne, I think this is it. He's going to give it all he's got. That time, he was a little bit faster than Tony Stewart. Looks like he might have laid back for a couple of laps just to get himself collected, pull off his tires, and make another run at Tony Stewart.
Into 3, now the short chute between 3 and 4. Off of the critical turn 4. And down the front stretch, the Fan Canyon. Fans lining both sides of this 5/8 of a mile straightaway. Past the famed Indianapolis Pagoda, the 96-foot tall scoring pylon where his number sits atop of it. Something he's always dreamed about. Now the short chute between 1 and 2. That's where his suite is, right there.
Looks like Kasey's car's a little bit better than Tony's car in 1 and 2, but Stewart looks a lot better in 4.
Right foot through the floor there.
You can't believe how hard these guys are pushing that gas pedal right now.
And the 9-car Kasey Kahne is going to have to depend on Tony Stewart having a problem. Run out of fuel to be able to catch him.
Stewart leads. 3 to go. Matt.
Bill, if you ask Tony Stewart, he'll tell you the biggest part of his success lies with the man on top of that pit box, Greg Zipadelli. As a special gift to Zippy, when they won the championship, he presented him with a brand new Corvette. If they win this event today, he has another special gift, a $50,000 bonus for allowing him to reach his dream. He only has 3 more laps to go.
Less than that now, Matt. Tony Stewart drives for Joe Gibbs, the Super Bowl winning NFL Hall of Fame coach.
Boy, he's so smooth right now. Concentrating so hard on hitting those marks just right.
2 laps remain in the Allstate 400. Stewart has been the Nextel Cup bad boy for so many years until this year. Says he just doesn't take things as seriously as he used to. Doesn't let things bother him as much. Is trying to enjoy his successes. When he has a problem, he just tries to leave him behind. He told me in the garage yesterday, instead of being mad about something for 3 days, he just puts it behind him and goes on. Then has 3 more days just enjoying life. He sweeps out of turn 4 and sees the white flag at the same track where his hero A.J. Foyt won before him. Now Tony Stewart is 2.5 miles away from history.
Looking in his mirror about 2 seconds right now.
Turn 2 at the Brickyard. Down the backstretch.
This is going to be really, really big for him.
Half a lap to go. The fans cheering. Through turn 4, the last trip down the front stretch. Tony Stewart, a native Hoosier, his dream comes true. Tony Stewart wins the Allstate 400 at the Brickyard. Let the party begin.
Folks, there's one happy race car driver.
this is one of those races, I'm telling you, you want it more than anything. You don't treat this place like another race.
You can go all your life and never get a crack at this if you're a race car driver. Close doesn't count at Indianapolis. Only winning does. Marty?
Well, the emotions run high here. Greg Zipadelli getting a hug from Eddie, one of Tony's longtime friends. I know this means a lot. What does this mean to win this race for your driver?
You have no idea. I got to thank the good Lord, man. I don't know that I've ever prayed that hard in my life. Just to see the expression on his face when I get over there, it'll be worth everything. I'm just proud of this team. Congratulations to Tommy and his boys. They had an awesome car. Just like thank my fab shop, my motor room. Fab shops worked hard. It's a brand new car. I mean, they worked night and day to get it built. It's not the one we tested. We weren't happy. And we went to the wind tunnel. This one was good. And we brought it back here without even taking it to the racetrack. So I couldn't be prouder of everybody in our organization.
So much has gone into this and so much before this, Zippy.
Oh, you have no idea. The people home sitting here knew what the first 6 years of a roller coaster was at the Brickyard 400. You know, they'd understand how important this was to this team. I'm just proud of this team right now.
Everybody's climbing the fence there, Zippy. You better go join them, Bill.
You can feel the pride and you can hear the passion. Stewart is turned around, coming back the opposite way on the track. These crew guys, when I talked with Tony yesterday, have stayed with him through some very emotional and turbulent times as a race car driver. They have held it together as a team. They won a championship. Off with the helmet. Unofficially, Stewart is the championship leader now, 75 points in front of Jimmy Johnson. I think this qualifies as your Chevy winning moment. Chevrolet congratulates Tony Stewart and the 20 Monte Carlo on today's win. The defending manufacturer's champion takes win number 567 overall. Chevy, the revolution races on. Well, Tony Stewart won at Daytona, climbed the fence.
I think he's headed over to the suites.
Won at New Hampshire, climbed the fence. And he wants to soak this all in.
I think that's right. He's soaking it all in, and he's acknowledging these Indiana fans.
And he knows he's
collecting himself.
Yes.
Yeah, as well.
He knows this is the track where his hero A.J. Foyt won 4 times. Johnny Rutherford. So many big names. Grew up dreaming of being an open wheel racer, hoping to win the Indianapolis 500. But his career took a turn towards stock cars. When he got with Joe Gibbs Racing, it really took off. I don't think anybody's left.
This is terrific stuff. Just terrific stuff.
You know, so many times in this sport, you get so close to this moment and it never happens. Dreams are shattered on final laps. Not this time.
Now he's coming up on the suite. We'll see what happens. Will he just simply acknowledge them?
He is unbuckled, continues to wave. Doesn't have his radio in, obviously, so nobody's talking to him. Simply enjoying the moment by himself. Uh-oh, he found a parking spot. That's his suite. Outside of turn 2, here comes smoke. Well, milk's the tradition in the Indy 500.
Look at the Johnson over there at turn 2. So I hope the car starts again.
The heat shields off his shoes. And back in his car. Wanted to celebrate with his friends. Just wonder if they've got the letters up on the marquee at that Dairy Queen in Columbus already.
Check this out, a ladder.
I think they need a bigger ladder.
So Tony Stewart makes the trip back to the front stretch and then eventually to victory lane at Indianapolis. Casey Kane came home second, a day he'll remember for a long time. Marty?
And Bill, a valiant effort by Casey Kane, and you told us before the race you had a great car. What happened at the end?
Well, we had an awesome car. It was really good through 1 and 3, and those were the spots I was beating Tony, and we were pretty equal through the other two. But I just gave up a little bit through there on the restart. I slid the nose off of 1 a little bit and then slid through 3, and I got behind him. I couldn't do anything with it. So I think if I could have held it to the backstretch, I might have been able to hold him off. But it's a big win for Tony. He's wanted to win this run real bad.
Dave?
Brian Vickers finished third today, Brian, at the Brickyard. Does this set up something for in the future, maybe?
Absolutely. I tell you what, I couldn't make a better place to win. I wanted that win so bad. This GMAC Garnett Chevy was awesome all day. You know, the pit guys, man, I got to hand them Mark Maul and the coach, the pit guys did an awesome job. And I want to say something for that engine shop. They really stepped it up this week. I want to thank those guys.
Did a great job today, coming home third.
Thank you, Dave. Tony's friends, crew members.
That's Zippy.
Yeah. And a NASCAR official.
And the fans are yelling, Tony.
Well, you know what they want, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
It's a small ladder. I don't think he's interested in the ladder.
Jason Shapiro.
Scott
right
Deal.
beside Tony.
I think anybody with a Home Depot shirts requires right now.
How many nights do you think Tony Stewart dreamed of doing this? Somewhere in there is Alan Bestwick.
Oh, my goodness, Bill, I'm thinking of all the moves I learned in my football days to try and work my way through. I knew I'd find you in the middle of this somewhere. We're going to talk to Tony sitting right under the flag stand here. All right. So, most of us never get to see our boyhood dreams come true. You have. What do you think?
I'm dying right now. Too tired to chase fences right now, but give me 5 minutes, I'll be ready.
Let's see here. I'm going to have to negotiate. Yeah, let's go back to Bill and get a second because we're about to. Well, all right, he's waving me on here. Yep, hang on here. All right, let's do it this way. You got me? Here we go. He got by you with 27 to go. You got back by him a few laps later. What were you thinking when he passed you?
I mean, I knew I was loose at the time, but just needed to stay with him. When I got behind him, I was actually a little better, and I knew after we get to 10 laps would be all right. So just happy we finally got that opportunity late.
Driving around this racetrack, listening to the cheers of these fans, what does this win mean for you?
I wish I could put it in words. It's today's been my entire life. So I feel like crap right now. In 5 minutes, I'm going to feel really good.
All right. Tony, congratulations. You've won at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
Tony Stewart laying on the front stretch wall right over the yard of bricks, celebrating his dream, his win here at Indy.
So Tony Stewart trying to recover from a physical and emotional win. The car, the crew, and the driver heading to victory lane at Indy. A checkered flag.
That's a man that really wanted it.
The winner of the Allstate 400.
Couldn't wait to get the window net down. Here are the results from today's running of the Allstate 400 at the Brickyard. Tony Stewart gets his first win at Indianapolis. Casey Kane had a great day, so did Brian Vickers, Mayfield, Matt Kenseth.
How about Casey Mears spinning, coming back to finish 6th spot.
And Jeff Gordon coming back to finish 8th. That could prove to be big when we get to Richmond.
All these cars still on the lead lap.
Dale Jarrett worked his way back up to 14th. Michael Waltrip came back from a tire issue, got the lucky dog, 16th. Jeff Burton finishing 20th.
All these cars on the lead lap. All these cars finished 160 laps.
Disappointing day for Rusty Wallace. Elliott Sadler was the pole sitter, but man, that's heartbreak, huh?
He was strong and ran good all day, and that was just a real heartbreak for those guys.
Championship leader Jimmy Johnson coming in was the championship leader, finishes 38th. And last place, Dale Earnhardt Jr. We've been told Jimmy Johnson has been taken to a local hospital for further evaluation after his hard crash here. The championship standings after 21 of the 36 races. 5 races to go before the cutoff and the chase for the Nextel Cup begins. Tony Stewart wins at Indy, is the championship leader. Carl Edwards, 10th. Continue to chant for Tony Stewart here.
And Elliott Sadler, who ran up front in the first 4 or 5 spots so much all year long, is now back in 12th position after that flat tire.
On the outside looking in.
Lost 3 spots today.
Don't forget, we'll be back next weekend for more NASCAR action from Watkins Glen. The Busch Series returns to the road course on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on NBC. And on Sunday, the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series takes to the track at 1 p.m. Eastern, beginning with the Bank of America Countdown to Green. Coming up next, except on the West Coast, it's your local news. Then at 7, 6 Central, don't miss an all-new Dateline, followed by Law & Order, Criminal Intent, and Crossing Jordan. A historic day for Tony Stewart, one he'll never forget. We're glad you were able to share it with us on NBC. Tony Stewart wins the Allstate 400 at the Brickyard. His dream comes true. Let the party begin.